everyone, and welcome to the stream. So, for starters, I'm going to address something right away, and that is what I am sitting in. You guys can't tell, this is a Skyrush seat. This is the seat that we wound up getting at the East Coaster event out in Hershey, PA. And you're going to see the video, hopefully tomorrow, where this got assembled. So it's a very, very cool thing. I just wanted to talk about that really quickly before we got into it, because I'm sure you guys are going to be like, why is your headrest ginormous? Because it's from Skyrush. But welcome, everyone.
Counting the days to this stream.
I know. It's been a long time coming, but welcome to the stream, everyone. We will have two more people joining us soon. Sammy's going to join probably around like 9:40ish towards the end of the stream, and Darius should be here relatively soon. But we have Tom and Ken for now. Tom, feel free to introduce yourself.
You know who I am by now. Toms_tracks99. I do have a post for King Dakar just in the chamber for whenever the thing happens, but maybe I'll get around to creating some other stuff to throw on there. But you can follow me on Instagram there.
And Ken?
And I'm Ken. Good evening, and also known as Uncle Ken.
Yes,
Uncle Ken.
He went from just Ken to now Uncle Ken. He has a variety of different identities since he still doesn't want to make an Instagram account. But we have quite a few things to discuss. And first, I want to welcome you all because this may be some people's first stream. I'm seeing some new names pop up in the chat, so welcome to all of you. The way the streams usually work is first we are going to go through a few set topics that we have to discuss, and then from there we go into the chat's questions. And just like on all of the streams, if you send a super chat, we'll jump immediately to that and read it right away. Otherwise, we'll kind of go down the chat as the questions appear. But let's get started first and
Just
foremost.
like all other streams, sorry to interrupt you there, Colin. I will be doing a nano coaster. As is tradition, this time we have Storm Runner, the Northeast's only hydraulic launch coaster left. So in honor of that little tidbit, we will be building one of those, and hopefully by the time the stream is done, so will this. This looks like a pretty easy one, actually.
And something else I want to notice before we get too far into things, you can see Tom and I both repping some Long Live the King merch.
Yes.
That is because there's currently a sale right now. It is a free shipping sale. And you can see the link. It is pinned in the chat. So if you haven't gotten your Long Live the King merch yet, there you go.
You can't tell that this is green. And then
I didn't get the memo.
I'm going to be a complete shill.
No, Ken's got to go grab his stuff now.
Looks great, and then it even pairs nicely with officially sanctioned King Dakar merch if you were lucky enough to get any of that.
Exactly.
So, yeah. You should,
so let's start off with the elephant in the room, Great Adventures demo status. I'm going to say this now, and I'm not going to repeat it later. I'm not going to answer anything asking when Ka is going to be imploded. I do not know, so I cannot answer. All I know is that as of right now, while we are live on this stream, it's still standing. It's probably going to come down at some point in the next week. Do I know when? No, I do not. So if I see any questions in the chat about that, I'm just not going to answer them. But we do have some stuff to kind of talk about with the demo at Great Adventure. So for one, Daredevil Dive is completely gone. There's basically nothing left of it. I assume maybe the little building is left where you paid to get on the ride, but otherwise it's gone. King Dakar, all that is left is the top hat, and they've been doing things a little differently than I thought they would. So there was those kind of extra supports that extended out the back towards the safari parking lot. Those were added in 2014 for Zumanjaro. Those have been cut off so that they kind of like pop out a little and then just end off here. And they've gone further up the top hat itself and cut off more pieces of track. So it keeps going higher and higher. Zumanjaro's gondolas are now off of their track. And it looked like the cable might have gone slack for Zumanjaro as well. I couldn't tell for sure, but it looked like that might have been what was going on there. Green Lantern, absolutely nothing has changed. The piece of the loop is still laying in where the ride area used to be. If I had to guess, Ka will be gone before Green Lantern is fully gone. That's my best guess. And then we have Cyborg completely gone. It looks like they are working on kind of retrofitting that whole queue setup to be workable with Flash, which is probably going to wind up reusing Cyborg's massive queue that it never, ever wound up using. Cyborg's sign, I believe, is also gone from what I remember. And it looks like they're kind of keeping that pad where Cyborg used to sit. Maybe they're going to put like a stage there or something, because I'm sure Cedar Fair is going to be looking to get some live entertainment back in the park. And they might as well, considering they have all the DC characters to work with. So I think that'd be a great addition there. Is that every route? Well, Skyway is still standing. I believe the cables are still there as well. So that kind of cover that. I think that covers everything. Am I right or wrong?
Twister is also completely gone.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Twister and parachutes are goners at this point. They were gone before the end of the 2024 season. But yeah, they're moving right along. I would imagine their goal is to have the bulk of everything that you can see gone come March 29th, which is, of course, opening day for the season. So lots of movement over a Great Adventure. I know there's employee training going on as well. And we'll talk about something else at Great Adventure a little later on. First, I just really quickly want to go over this. Skyview at Hershey Park was announced that it will not be returning in the 2025 season. That was their smaller sky ride. So no more Skyway Great Adventure and no more Skyview at Hershey. But we have some more exciting stuff going on at Cedar Point, which I want to talk about. Because Cedar Point, every year they have their winter chill out event. And a lot was revealed. I was kind of wishing Bob would be able to join us for the stream today. And unfortunately, he was not. But he kind of gave me some intel from what was said at Winter Chill Out. So for starters, the Siren's Curse trains, or front car, I should say, was shown off. And it looks pretty much just like Flash. It has the onboard audio. It has the onboard lighting. Of course, a different color scheme. I also found out that Siren's Curse does not have a seatbelt. So on Flash, at least as far as I know, when you pull down the over-the-shoulder, there's going to be a seatbelt right here that kind of connects to the bottom of the seat. That is not present on Siren's Curse, which is definitely going to make those operations quicker. Oh, hold on. I just got a super chat.
Sure did.
Here we go. Thank you, WSB News, for the super chat. I don't know how to say the first name. I'm sorry. CDI says sometime on 2/28.
Adrienne Lazo, I believe.
Adrienne Lazo. I assume that's referring to Ka, because CDI is the company that is blowing Ka up. So maybe, I don't know. I really do not know when it's coming down. I have no idea. Back to Cedar Point, though. Like I was saying with Siren's Curse, it's not going to have those seatbelts. I would show you guys a picture, but I don't have any readily available. You can check Park Paradise. I know has a few on Instagram. Coaster 101 as well. There's a bunch of accounts that have it posted, but they look really, really sleek. And there are some updates shared as well about both Siren's Curse and Top Thrill 2. So Top Thrill 2 is planned to open on opening day, which I believe is in early May for Cedar Point. I'm not 100% sure, but that sounds about right. They usually open in early May. Both Top Thrill 2 and Siren's Curse are now going to have free lockers inside the queue. So when Top Thrill 2 was open last year in 2024, you had to pay for lockers just like how it worked at Great Adventure for so many years. You had to put your stuff in a locker outside of the queue, and then you'd go in the queue and not have any loose articles on you. They're changing that now. I don't know where exactly the free pass-through lockers are going in on Top Thrill 2. Hopefully a little closer to the station, because you're not really able to see any of the ride until you get pretty close to the station. That's where the covering stops. So hopefully it's further up there, but that's a great, great change. I was hoping that they would be able to do that, considering it's been down for so long now, and it sounds like that is exactly what's going to happen. And Siren's Curse, given the fact that they are going to have that locker implementation in the queue, that tells me that this is going to have the same no loose article policy as Steel Vengeance and Top Thrill 2, which for my Great Adventure audience, it's the same policy as El Toro, what King Dekai used to have, Jersey Devil, and Flash. They all have the no loose article policy. Flash is probably going to have the same pass-through lockers as El Toro in the queue. I believe they're already constructed, actually. So it's good to see that they are staying consistent, or at least trying to, with the pass-through lockers for rides that require you to empty your pockets. But Cedar Point, they've got one heck of a year coming up with essentially the re-debut of Top Thrill 2, as well as the grand debut of Siren's Curse. And the way Siren's Curse's track tilts, because people could really see it while they were actually standing in the midway, the track tilts directly at you as you're standing in the midway, which is going to be one of the coolest visuals out there.
Great photo op.
Oh, 100%. It kind of begs the question, too. What do you guys think is going to wind up winning the tilt coaster race? Which of the three do you think is going to open first? Iron Rattler at Six Flags Qiddiya, Circuit Breaker at Codaland, or Siren's Curse at Cedar Point?
Circuit Breaker.
Circuit Breaker, okay.
It does look like Circuit Breaker.
So,
I don't know, Siren's Curse looked pretty, I don't know. Siren's Curse looks like it could be pretty close. Sorry, someone's telling me to yuck. Not sure what that means.
I don't know why. That's strange.
I don't know why. I'm not a yucky person.
But I'm very conflicted on which one's going to open first, because the problem with both Circuit Breaker and Iron Rattler is that they both have to wait for the parks that they're in to open because they are both opening in brand new parks. Codaland, I'm not really sure where it's at in terms of construction right now. I know Circuit Breaker is probably around halfway done. So honestly, I don't know if that's going to wind up being the first. It was marketed as the first for so long, but I believe they had permit issues or something where they just weren't able to get it open relatively quickly. And then this has gotten us to where we're at now. Iron Rattler, I believe, is the furthest along out of all of them. It might have tested. I don't know for sure, but I know that its track is completely done, which is really exciting. And then Siren's Curse, obviously, we know where that's at. But I think the advantage that Siren's Curse has is the fact that it's in a park that is already existent. They don't have to do much around the ride. It's just getting the ride, its queue, and everything open. So I do think Siren's Curse is a pretty good shot at winning the race and becoming the first new-gen Vekoma tilt coaster to open. But time will tell. It is a very exciting thing to witness, though, to see Cedar Point get such a crazy addition that nobody was expecting and that they're getting it open like quick, too. They are making quick work of it. So props to Cedar Point for that. Now we're going to move on to iROC.
Wait.
Sorry, Ken. Go ahead.
Cedar Point news. I was very upset to hear that Famous Dave's is moving out of the marina.
No.
Really?
Yes, it's moving to the hotel. The what's the
Breakers Express?
With the water park.
Oh, it's not Castaway Bay, is it?
Castaway Bay. That's where
it's Castaway Bay.
It used to be a nice break. You could sit there and watch Millennium Force while you're eating your lunch or dinner.
Unfortunate. I don't know if it's actually leaving, but the Chickies and Pete's sign for the location next to Raptor was missing. So either it's not going to be Chickies and Pete's anymore, or it's just getting a refresh. I'm hoping the sign's just getting refreshed because that is one of my favorite spots in the park to go eat. I love Chickies and Pete's across all the Cedar Fair parks, and that one in particular is one of my favorite locations. So time will tell.
I guess they have that barbecue place inside the park now, so it kind of doesn't make sense to have Famous Dave's there.
That is true. Well, that is, if it is done, that is unfortunate. Now, Great Adventure, iROC. You might be a little confused what that is. iROC is essentially a format that parks follow for their operational procedures, and this is the operational procedure that Cedar Fair parks have followed for years now. They have been going through this, and knowing what Cedar Fair does with their parks and how they run everything, we can make a lot of educated guesses on how this is going to be implemented at Great Adventure and all the Six Flags parks, actually. But before that, yes, we got a super chat. Thank you, Moose Boys, for the super chat. How do you feel about Cedar Fair attacking the Six Flags parks and the changes? What is the good, bad, and ugly? I don't know that I would characterize it as attacking the Six Flags parks.
I don't think it's meant to be like attacking. I mean, more like tackling. You know what I mean?
So the thing with all of these removals, right? Obviously, it's going to kind of look as like, okay, they're coming in and just ripping things out because they want to make their parks look better. But when you sit there and look at the rides they're taking out, it starts to make a lot more sense. And I did recently make a video. It's not going to come out for maybe a week or so. But when you look at these removals, the only reason they're getting rid of these rides is because they have plans to replace them and to grow the parks. And quite frankly, majority of the rides, if not all of them that they have removed, really did need to go. They were getting to the point where they're either at the end of their service life, they cost an absurd amount of money to maintain, and they either weren't popular enough or just simply weren't worth that amount of money to spend. So I would not call it attacking. And when you look at parks like Great Adventure, right? Great Adventure definitely got hit the hardest in terms of the purge of rides at the Cedar Fair, well, the new Six Flags parks. But to me, that just means that they're going to wind up doing really, really well after the fact because they're going to get a lot of investment to replace all of the rides that were removed. So that's the way I'm looking at it. I wouldn't say it's attacking or anything like that. I think it's more so that they're trying to rebuild the parks and realize their potential, because quite frankly, Great Adventure's potential has not been realized ever, in my opinion. They were getting close in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, but then they went bankrupt, so didn't get to go all the way. But I'm hopeful that this could finally be the run where we see Great Adventure truly become a great adventure. Any comments from anyone else on that?
I think it's actually an exciting time for the park because it's kind of it's going to be a fresh start for everything. And I think 5-6 years from now, you're going to be amazed at what the park looks like if everything works out.
I'll say it's an interesting time. I definitely agree with some of the rides that have bitten the dust at Great Adventure. There's definitely better options to replace some of those rides. Ka in particular obviously stings, but I'm interested to see what will take its place.
Absolutely. That, to me, this is a very exciting time too, because for as long as I've been going to Great Adventure, ever since 2008, when you look back at what's been added, what's been removed, not that much has changed at the park in that amount of time. I mean, we got and lost Green Lantern, we got Joker and a few other smaller rides in Jersey Devil, but for the most part, the park stayed relatively the same. And that's also to its detriment, because quite frankly, I think there's a lot of areas and rides that should have either been replaced or revitalized that never got it. I mean, we're still waiting on Nitro's repaint, and we thought that was going to happen years ago. So I'm really hoping.
The last two major things we got were Kingda Ka and El Toro, really.
Yeah. I mean, because Green Lantern was a relocation, Dark Knight was a clone, Jersey Devil was original till they cloned it, Joker's a clone. So, you know,
El Diablo is not a coaster.
Thank you again, Moose Boys, for another super chat. Really appreciate it. In business, when you take over, it's called attacking the problems and change. It's not meant to take. Okay,
that's what I was trying to get at. I'm like,
right.
I think he's using the like, how are they attacking it? Not how are they attacking it? If that.
Well, then in that context, 100% agree. They're looking at, okay, what are the biggest expenditures? What are the biggest issues at these parks right now? And trying to address them in the most efficient and quick way possible. That's the whole point of Project Accelerate, which is the corporate level kind of just blitz through the parks, trying to figure out what needs to go, what can stay, what needs to change. And we're going to see a lot of change very, very quickly. And I truly think Great Adventure will be the epicenter of all of that happening, because like the Cedar Fair parks, for instance, they're probably at a point for the most part where corporate looks at them and is satisfied with where they're at. They see the growth year over year, and they don't need to keep investing. You look at a park like Michigan's Adventure, which kind of gets crapped on for never getting any investment. It doesn't need the investment because it's a cash cow. It constantly generates money. You go over and look at Great Adventure. Great Adventure's attendance fluctuates all over the place, and that's not good for business. You want to have it up and up, not up, down, up a little, down. You don't want that. And I think they see that, and they're trying to change it and make the park as successful as possible. And I know people are going to be really upset about what it might take to get there, but I truly believe that 5-10 years from now, there's going to be some big, good changes at Great Adventure. You just got to give it time. But with that, back to iROC. I will actually share, because iROC, they posted it on their Instagram. So here you go. There it is right there. Six Flags Great Adventure has completed their iROC rollout. What a fantastic group of passionate ride operators, professionals, dedicated to safety. Welcome to the iROC family. So what can you expect from this? Now, obviously, we have not visited the park with iROC being enrolled yet, so to speak. And the employees, they haven't even, not all of them have learned iROC yet. So it's impossible to know exactly what Great Adventure's policies are going to be. But for starters, you can expect that, honestly, it's probably going to take a little longer for them to dispatch the trains. iROC is very big on safety, and that's not to say that the way they used to do things at Great Adventure wasn't safe. It's more so that they have extra steps they like to take because I guess it makes them feel that it's safer. You can see that, again, at the Cedar Fair parks, and some of the crews, I will say, they make do with the iROC protocols, and they are able to pump the trains out quick. And I'm hoping we'll see the same at Great Adventure. It's going to be a big adjustment for all the operators at Great Adventure because they've had a way of doing things for so long now. And for it to be changed radically all of a sudden, it's going to take some adjustment. So early on in the season, cut them some slack. They're still learning and trying to understand the new way of doing things. Also, re-rides are probably going to change big time. At the Cedar Fair parks, it does kind of change depending on the park and depending on the crew. But as far as I know, the actual rule for iROC is 2 re-rides and then you got to go. I don't really agree with that. I never agreed with that. I don't agree with it at the SeaWorld parks either, but that's what they decided to do. And I would not be surprised if that's the case at Great Adventure as well. So just be prepared and, understand, like I said, the operators, they are learning these new systems. Bear with them. We're all going to have to kind of figure it out together. But iROC is officially at Great Adventure, and come the start of the 2025 season, we will see that in place. So definitely going to keep an eye on all of that happening. You guys have any comments about iROC?
iROC, you rock, we all rock. That's my thoughts on it.
If you've been to other parks, you've experienced it. And
Yeah.
It's not always bad.
I'm hoping it's not as dramatic a change as some people might be expecting.
Exactly.
Your re-rides getting that many rides in is going to be a little more difficult. So
yes, it's going to be much more difficult. I mean, the El Toro marathons we used to have, don't expect those to happen. That's what I'll say. I mean, of course, we won't know for sure until the parks open and they start employing the procedures, but just basing it off of what the other parks that have iROC do, probably not going to be allowed to do it. But next, we have the first Six Flags coaster opening, which is really exciting because this one was made official very recently, other than Rapterra. Rapterra technically was first. Rapterra is opening with the park on March 29th at King's Dominion, and there's a pass holder preview the night before on March 28th at night. So definitely going to be cool to see that. But Georgia Gold Rusher, formerly known as Georgia Surfer, is opening on opening day, and this will actually make it the first new for 2025 Six Flags coaster to open. It will open officially on March 15th. There is ERT in the morning on both March 15th and March 16th for pass holders and presumably members as well for a couple of hours. I believe that runs from park opening until 2 o'clock, and then after 2 o'clock, it's open to the general public. But really cool to see this ride open. Honestly, I was a little worried that it may not open with the park since they were making all the thematic changes that they were doing to it. But it looks like they were able to get them done quick. As far as I know, it's like basically ready to go now. I think all that's left is maybe to paint the train, unless they already did that. And then it is time to get people on that thing. And I'm hoping to get down there as soon as possible to check it out. So stay tuned for that. But Gold Rusher does look like a pretty cool ride. It's essentially just a larger half pipe with an airtime hill in the middle and a weird water element in the middle. So I think it'll be pretty cool. Definitely going to be a fun ride. And we'll see how it does for Six Flags Over Georgia. But with all of that, I do have a little thing I want to add on here. If you want to give me a second to type it out. There we go. Hopefully I spelled it right, because I want to get some input from you guys as well, from the two of you. What are your most anticipated new coasters for 2025? We've probably talked about this before, but ever since then, we've seen a lot of rides start testing now, along with openings starting to get closer and closer. I know I'm getting more and more excited for Flash as we get closer to finally get on it. But Ken, I'm going to start with you. Give me your 5 most anticipated new coasters opening in 2025 across. You can do the country, the continent, the world, whatever you want to do. There's a lot to choose from.
Alpenfury and Stardust Racers at
Alpenfury looks amazing.
Stardust Racers. Those are probably the two. You're not going to get 5 from me. Those are probably the two I'm looking forward to the most. Now,
you think you'll get on both?
I don't know if I'm going to get to them this year because I want to go to new parks this year versus parks I've already been to. So,
definitely. Tom,
can we count Top? Can we count Top Thrill 2?
I mean,
it's essentially new for everybody.
It's new for 90% of people. So
say like 99.
Probably.
If we're not, you know what, for the sake of the argument, I won't count it. But I agree with Alpenfury and Stardust. I would throw Flash in there just for the sheer fact that we've been waiting so long to get on it. It's definitely not going to be the best of the new stuff, but just for the sheer fact that we've waited for so long, I'll say it's anticipated. That puts me at 3. Give me Siren's Curse as my 4th, because now I need the Wild Mouse Top Thrill and that at Cedar Point, so hopefully I'll get out there. And said Stardust, Alpenfury, I need 1 more. Why not Rapterra? That's probably one of the more realistic ones I'll get on this year, just given like it's easy enough to get to King's Dominion from us. So
very true.
I'll say those are my 5 in no particular order.
I will say the really cool thing about Flash, even though it was delayed, it still will open as the first new-gen Vekoma thrill coaster in the United States. It's going to open before all the others. It's going to open before Siren's Curse and Circuit Breaker. So that is really exciting. Even though Flash should have opened last year, it still will have that cool thing to kind of set it apart from everything else. So do I think Flash will be the best new coaster this year? No, definitely not. I mean, I think that's kind of obvious. When you have coasters like Stardust Racers, Alpenfury, Falcon's Flight, which, I mean, I don't know if that's actually going to wind up opening this year. We'll see. It depends on when Qiddiya winds up opening. It looks like they're pretty far along over there, though. I could see like a summer opening over there. But when looking at the most anticipated coasters, there's just so much to consider. because there's even a lot overseas too. I mean, you have Yoi, you have Helios. There's a lot going on over there as well. But looking strictly in North America, Alpenfury and Stardust definitely top the list for me. Stardust probably higher just because it looks absolutely bonkers. I mean, they had to put a trim on it just because it was way too intense. And from people that have ridden it, because I think they had employee previews today and in the past week or so, and people are saying that the ride's absolutely amazing, better than Velocicoaster, some people are saying, which if it's better than Velocicoaster, you know you have a pretty darn good coaster on your hands. So
do they notice a difference between the two sides?
I've heard that they do feel distinct, but they're probably around equal in terms of how good they are. Because, I mean, like the Celestial Spin, you take it in two completely different directions depending on which track you're on. But I think either way, it still kind of balances out. It just depends on which orientation you like better, really. Obviously, that's coming from somebody who hasn't ridden it yet. That's just me going off of what I've heard. But that ride looks just amazing. All of Epic, I mean, that's definitely going to be the showstopper of the year, other than Six Flags Qiddiya. Epic Universe has been a long time coming, and seeing that park open is going to be amazing. And there's a lot of coasters in the Six Flags chain opening this year. I think we have 8, right? Quantum, Georgia.
I forgot about Quantum.
Wrath of Rakshasa, Rapterra, Siren's Curse, Alpenfury, Flash, Snoopy. I think that's all of them. Yeah, there's quite a few. And they all look like they have their own unique little quirks that's going to make them really cool. I think the theming, especially on Rapterra, maybe even Alpenfury, is definitely going to blow people away. So there's just so much to look forward to in 2025 from the theme park world. There's so many cool things being added, and coming from 2024, where quite frankly was a really weak selection of new coasters, 2025 is more than going to make up for it. So I'm very excited for the new year of coasters. But with that, it is time to get into the questions. Let me brace myself for whatever lies ahead. Like I said earlier, I am not going to answer any questions about when Kingda Ka is being imploded. I already said earlier, I don't know. So I'm not going to even entertain the question because there's no point. So with that being said, I will answer this because it's not directly about it. What does implode mean? Implode means they're going to blow it up. It's going to fall down, presumably forward onto where it used to be. Let's see. Where are the first real questions? I'm listening to the Ka soundtrack in remembrance of Ka. I would be lying if I said I haven't done it too. Episode 2 by Safri Duo is a really, really good album, unironically. Let's see. What's your favorite roller coaster? Probably Iron Gwazi. Tom?
Oh, I was gonna let Ken go, but I'm ready to say Velocicoaster. That's my number 1 right now.
Ken, tiebreaker?
Fiore 325.
Oh.
Whoa.
Okay, curveball. I wasn't expecting that.
Interesting.
Let's see. Lots of Long Live the Kings in here. Which song from Kingda Ka was your favorite? So it's going to sound odd. My favorite one off that album is actually Adagio. It's the last song of the album, and it's kind of like the instrumental kind of, I don't know the word. Tom,
they're all instrumental.
I know it's instrumental.
It's basically the slow tempo reduced version of Sam Adagio.
Yes.
So, obviously, you've not heard Sammy sing it.
Yeah, you got to hear Sammy sing it to do the song justice. It's
well, you had plenty of time in the car with him in Florida, too, to hear it, so I'm sure you heard the whole album.
Safri Duo might have made the song, but Sammy perfected it.
Yes, indeed. Colin, why are you streaming on a roller coaster? I know, first live stream from a Skyrush seat, if I had to guess from anybody.
I guess you're technically on a roller coaster, right?
Technically,
yeah. Of one.
It certainly feels like
it throughout the stream.
Huh?
Tighter and tighter and tighter.
Yeah, I know. I feel the restraints coming down on my thighs, starting to hurt. I'm very happy with the way this chair came out, and I've got to make sure I preface. My dad did the bulk of the work for this thing. I just filmed it for a video, which, like I said, should come out tomorrow.
Didn't you pick up the paint too? You did go drive to get the paint.
I did go and get the paint.
That was a crucial part of it.
And I was criticized actually because, and Ken knows this story. I decided when I was getting the paint, I was getting it from like Lowe's or something. I ordered it online and did the pickup because why wouldn't I? Why am I going to go through the whole store to try to find it when there's a pickup option and they just leave it in a locker for you? So when I told my dad this, he made fun of me. He was like, why didn't you just go get it yourself? I said, because they offer that.
And if you've ever been in the paint section at Home Depot or Lowe's, you know that you can't find exactly what you want in that paint section.
Right.
So yeah, that was a funny little tidbit on the Skyrush ordeal. I got a lot of flack for that. I was like, why?
The chair is amazing. The chair is beautiful.
Yes, it is. Ken, I think, is the only other person other than my dad and I that sit in the chair.
It's heavy.
Oh, it's heavy. It's like 70 pounds. Also, I'm seeing in the chat a lot of people spamming. If you spam your question, I'm just not going to answer it. So please don't spam your questions. I'll get to you eventually. Let's see. I can confirm if you buy a green Long Live the King hoodie and wear it all the time, Ken will make fun of you.
That's if you buy the Kelly green one, because
Yes.
I've got the like the forest green one.
Yeah, you need to get the really bright
You
like
have to
lime
get
green one.
Yes, if you get the Kelly green one, you're good. I've yet to be made fun of in this one, so.
Yeah, so far we got.
Yeah, I was gonna say the season is young, hasn't even started
I would
yet.
feel better if I knew that Zach had like multiple of those jackets.
You know that bit in cartoons where the cartoon character's like, "What am I gonna wear?" and it's like the same outfit.
The same outfit over. Yeah. That's Zach with that green Long Live the King hoodie. Colin, other than King Dakar, which removed ride will you miss the most? It is tight between Zumanjaro and Skyway. Probably Zumanjaro. I really liked Zumanjaro. And I'm very sad I didn't get to ride it more. And I rode it a lot. I have hundreds of rides. Actually, I do think I documented my total ride count on all the rides that got axed. So let me see if I can find it. I think
lifetime ride counts.
Let's see, did I save it? Oh, I don't know if I did. No, I'm not seeing it. That's unfortunate. I know it was high though. Oh wait, is that there?
Nothing beats describing a ride like Zumanjaro though to people who haven't ridden, and they're like, "Oh, what was it like?" I'm like, "Oh, well, when you get up there, Philly is this little dot to your left."
It looks like it was at least 150. At least. I don't know how many it actually was. But yeah, it was a lot. Not enough though. It'll never be enough.
It's got to be the Skyway. The Skyway.
Yeah.
The Skyway.
Classic.
The Skyway was a ride that people who couldn't ride the extreme rides could ride. Like my sister rode the Skyway with me when she came to the park, and she didn't ride anything else. But
yeah, I don't think I know a single member of my family who didn't ride the Skyway and love it, because who doesn't love it?
That's right.
I'm still holding on to hope, though, that it's not going to be permanently gone, that maybe down the line they'll have Doppelmayr or someone come in and make a new version of it. I'm still holding on to that. Hopefully, nothing's been announced about that, obviously. It's, as far as we know, permanently closed, but I'm holding on to hope. I'm trying to. Colin, I just saw something behind you. I don't think there's been anything behind me, so I'm probably just seeing things. It could be this blinking light over here. That might be what's freaking you out a little bit.
it's a horror movie.
I know. Well, I have to keep it dark back here because, I mean, it makes me look a little more dramatic, so I guess people really get nervous if they see stuff back there. I should just have, like, Munchie run around and jump back and forth behind me if anyone notices. I suggest watching the Slingshot and the Go cars. I think they're being torn down. Not this year. Eventually, probably, but they're not coming down this year. They sold Cyborg. So that's not known. All we know is that it's being removed from Great Adventure. That's all we know. I will say the way they took it apart was really strange because they didn't just rip it to shreds.
No, they took it away in pieces.
Yeah, so maybe it was sold. I don't know. But it's not a Great Adventure anymore.
Maybe they're moving. Maybe they're moving it across the park. Because the Devil's shutout was broken. They're now only winning 5-1. For anyone who was curious.
Is there any more of that model ride anywhere?
Nope, I don't think so.
There's one portable version, I believe, and that's it. I think. Because
I only rode that ride once in my lifetime, so
I loved that ride. I was one of the very few fans.
I enjoyed it. I was also a part of the. I was a part of the commercial shoot. I was an extra in there. So if you look, I'm like, I think I was wearing like a royal blue shirt or something. So if you go back and look at like those early commercials, I am a royal blue spec somewhere on there, and I think I wound up riding it like 40 times that day.
I had to abstain from that one ride. I almost puked. So.
Let's see. If you had to pick a 9th attraction to be removed from Great Adventure in the 2025 offseason, what would you choose? Well, I wouldn't pick anything because I think 8 is more than enough. But I would
you allowed
say,
to pick a kiddie ride?
I mean, I wouldn't pick a kiddie ride. We need them. The Right Stuff building doesn't count as a ride anymore, so I'll say the go-karts. Truly, I would just wipe out the Right Stuff, Slingshot, and go-karts, get rid of all of them. I would also get rid of Superman, but I know that's not a very popular pick.
I was gonna say Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
What I am a fan of, though, is that it looks like Nashville's goal is getting called back for offside, so the shutout's alive.
Oh,
but
Tom with his hockey. Tom, let's keep the coasters. What ride do you want gone?
That's a tough call. I do disagree with everyone saying Right Stuff because the park does have practical uses for it, including an electrical shop. So
okay, but look at it.
Oh,
you
yes.
tell me they can't move that backstage and not
assuming they maybe, but assuming they don't. But if we're talking about attractions that still operate, I don't know. Give me Jolly Roger. I hardly ever see a line for that.
Poor Jolly Roger.
I say that as a former Jolly Roger ride op, but what do you do?
Let's see. When do you think Flash Pass Holder Preview would be if it happens? They'll probably do it very similar to how King's Dominion is. I don't know that we'll get like a pass holder preview night. Honestly, I think it's just going to open on opening day, and maybe pass holders will get ERT in the morning, if I had to guess. Again, nothing's been announced yet. It hasn't technically been officially confirmed that it's opening on opening day, but like it's opening on opening day as long as it's ready. So, yeah. The trains for Siren's Curse are very generic. Well, that's because it was never meant to be called Siren's Curse or be at Cedar Point. Originally, it was for Energylandia. Then it went to Six Flags Mexico and was probably going to have like a Harley Quinn or Joker theme. And then they couldn't build it at Mexico, so it wound up at Cedar Point. I do hope long-term, eventually, that they get rid of the green out of the trains and paint it like blue or red. I think that would fit a lot better. I still think the color scheme is very strange for Cedar Point. I understand there's nothing they can do about it because they kind of inherited this thing at a weird time. But if long-term they're able to do it.
Georgia Surfer.
Yeah, I mean,
I was literally just going to
Surfer,
say, didn't stop him from doing Surfer.
You guys want to see a picture of the Skyrush seat, it seems. So let me see if I have one readily available. But first, there's a super chat.
Yes.
My 2 cents, Ka was a disaster. Toro is next, in my opinion. I would not call Ka a disaster. It was a feat of engineering. I think that's the best way to really describe it, right? It was a ride. Sure, Dragster existed before, but they obviously did things different with Ka than they did with Dragster. And I truly think it's an engineering marvel. So I would not call it a disaster. Did it have its issues? Absolutely, it had its issues. But I would not call it a disaster as a result of that. I'm just trying to find a good picture of the Skyrush chair to show you guys. I think that works. Let's see if it'll let me share my screen. Window.
And El Toro is in there.
There we go. All right. Is it sharing? I think. Yep.
It's about to.
It's trying to. There we go. There's the Skyrush seat.
There you are.
Let's see. Can I show the other one?
There's
the back one. There we go. That's the back of the seat. Oh, we did get another super chat. Thank you, Zach Storm, for the super chat. Six Flags is betting too much on this new coaster. I figured they expect an attendance drop in 2025, but if the park doesn't recover, they will give up. I wouldn't say they're going to give up, per se, but I think the performance in 2025 is really, really important, and if they don't wind up doing well, they're probably not going to get the same level of investment as they are supposed to. And thank you, Gina, for the super chat. Do you think Nitro will ever get that paint job? They're probably going to try to make it happen as soon as possible. If it's hopefully this year, I mean, they might as well. I do think it will happen no matter what, though. That's for sure. It's just a matter of when that winds up happening, which hopefully sooner than later. Let's see if I can find where I was. Wish there was an easier way for me to do this because I always struggle with this every stream. I was talking about Siren's Curse, right?
Yeah, we were talking about like how there was nothing they could do about the COA scheme, despite the fact that Georgia Surfer in the Gold Rusher.
Yeah, so that's that. Talked about that. Rides ranked by how much I will miss them. Ka, Skyway, Zoom Draw, Parachutes. I would probably put Lantern at 4. We'll just switch Lantern and Parachutes. I'd probably honestly put Cyborg over Parachutes. It's not that I didn't like the Parachutes, but they weren't anything amazing per se. Daredevil Dive. It's not that I don't like it. It's just I never really thought it should be a great adventure, quite honestly.
And I never rode it.
You never rode it?
Nope. That is my limit. You will never catch me on a sky coaster.
That's your.
Well, I know what to bet on you with.
What?
I know what to make you have to do if you lose a bet with me.
Well, there you go.
Let's see. Next up.
You should see how I shake when I'm going to pull the cord on it.
I can't believe you ride that, Ken, knowing that you tend to be nervous about stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. It gets me.
Did you ride the one in Kissimmee, the world's tallest one?
Oh, no, because that one seems like it falls and doesn't catch you until the very bottom.
Exactly.
Man, I had trouble with New England Sky Screamer. That was a lot for me. It's a miracle I got on that.
Oh,
I remember you were like trembling.
The Sky Screamer, the kid next to me was, "Are you okay, sir?" I'll be over soon.
Oh, man. Yeah, the thing with the one in Kissimmee, Ken, is when you pull the ripcord, you drop, and say this is you here, right? You drop, and you go like beyond 90, then you snap out of it as the tension breaks. It's crazy.
I was tempted when I was there because they had the one where you sit, so you're looking like.
Oh yeah, the sky sled.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth it. I've never done the sky sled because I would rather just do the normal one, but I definitely think everyone should experience it at least once. It's crazy. Let's see. What will replace King Dakar? It has not been announced yet, but there's plenty of theories out there. One of which is that it will be a Mach Tower Extreme Spinner, which I have made a version of. ML Designs has another version of it made. So if you want to believe that, then there you go. Let's see. If the spinning coaster is what they replace Ka with, do you think it'll be over 400 feet? Yes. I think they know they can't build that unless they go over 400 feet because otherwise it would never live up to Ka. So, yeah, definitely over 400 feet if I had to take a wild guess.
And most people will still think it's King Dakar.
Yeah. So there will be people who just think they made King Dakar spin, if that's what it is. And hold on, it looks like we have a new guest joining us. Let me just format his name, and then he will be joining us right about now. Welcome, Darius.
Thank God it's not Sammy. No.
Darius, you are muted right now, I think on your end. It should be on the screen. You'll see the little microphone button. There you go.
All right, I just stepped out of a party in Aspen. My bad.
Hey, live it up, man. Darius, you're out skiing right now, right? Or you were?
Snowboarding, yeah. You know who I was snowboarding with yesterday.
Yes, I do. Well, Darius, welcome to the stream. We are currently going through the slate of questions, but I know you had something you mentioned to me about international park bucket lists, right? I have that correct?
Yes.
So what international parks are on your radar this year?
So listen, I think everyone who's doing an international trip to Europe has to go to Thorpe. Like you got to do Thorpe. You got to do the whole UK scene. They got too many coasters between the two parks, Alton Towers and Thorpe. Energylandia definitely needs to be on everyone's European bucket list. And then last but not least, not Europe, but pretty similar in terms of aspirations. When Six Flags Qiddiya opens up, like everyone should put it on their list. I'm not gonna lie, you can't misbehave in that country, but if you want to ride King Dakar's replacement, you definitely gotta make plans to make it out to Qiddiya this year.
Absolutely. I think Qiddiya is going to be the talk of the town for whoever does wind up being able to get there. It's quite the feat.
I do have a controversial opinion. I think the coaster is going to be boring. I'm not going to lie. I think it's going to be fast and boring.
Be beaten by Iron Rattler in the same park. I think Iron Rattler will be better.
Yeah. I think it's going to be fast as hell and boring.
Yeah, I think you're probably right about that. I don't think it's going to have much force. And then you have that windshield in the front, and you're not going to get that sense of speed, really.
Yep.
So, yeah, I would have
to
agree.
make a ride that's too long.
And the problem with it is it's so – like I feel like that those sections after I'm calling it the Gateway Arch because that's what it looks like. After that, I mean, it's just these long, drawn-out turns. And from what I've heard about Formula Rossa, which basically does the same thing, a little slower, but it's the same, they're not very forceful. They're not very fun. You're just kind of zooming along with not much force. So we'll see. I mean, I think it's a monumental feat of engineering, the fact that Intamin was able to make that happen. I think that's the most impressive part about it. But do I think it's going to be an amazing ride? No.
I do have a question. I have a position, but I'm going to pose it as a question to the group.
Okay.
Does everyone think that the record is legitimate given it never has that much separation from the ground?
So that's a good question. So it markets itself as an exocoaster, which they claim is a coaster that goes over 600 feet. And it's only over 600 feet based on the elevation change, right? What I call the gateway arch, that is over 500 feet. So technically it is the tallest coaster no matter what, because it does have that. But is it the world's first 600-foot coaster? Technically, because the largest drop is is 600 or whatever it might wind up being. So, I mean, yes, to a point. That's kind of the same argument as well. Orion has a drop that's not giga height, but it's as tall as a giga. So is it really a giga? Same thing with Apollo, where its drop is a hypersize, but its height is not. So it's kind of up for debate.
It feels like a very ambiguous kind of thing.
I agree. It is still a tall coaster.
I think some governing body needs to come up with the final answer. I'm tired of this debate.
We need a standard.
Is it based on height from lowest point on the ground, or is it like linear feet of track distance from highest point? Someone needs to answer this question.
I guess that's up to the coaster gods. That's beyond our control.
Screw the coaster gods. Let's come up with it. Let's come up with the answer in this show by the end of the night.
Yeah,
we'll poll the chat and see what they think.
We'll stew on it.
You know, I'll start the poll up right now, and we'll see what people think. Is Falcon's flight truly 600 feet tall? And we'll see what the lovely chat decides. If I could spell flight right, that would be great. Oh, and I
Falcons fight.
biffed it. Oh, oops. All right.
Hey, Colin, I do have one last question for the audience. Is anyone excited about this? I know you're not. I'm going to get this out of the way. I know you're not. But is anyone else excited about Texas getting this super dive coaster that they're about to get? The first, is it a giga dive? Yeah, it's the first giga dive.
Maybe the height will do something for the model. I'm not generally the biggest dive fan, but there's some good dives out there. But maybe this is what we need for the dive to be great.
The only dive coaster I really liked was Yukon Striker. So if it's something like that, I'm in for it.
I think we could tell Over Texas is not too late to make it a giga wing.
A giga
That'd be cool.
Coaster.
See,
that would work.
My thing with the giga dive, the only dive coasters I'm really a huge fan. I love Griffin. Griffin I really like. And Sheikah's like the weaker version of Griffin, but it's still good. And I did like Yukon Striker a lot more than I thought I would. But the rest of them, I'm really not big on. Emperor, I don't think does anything. Menace is good, but not amazing. Same with Dr. Diabolical. What else is there?
I saw you smiling on Dr. Diabolical.
I love Dr.
D. It's fun. It's not my kind of coaster, though.
Yeah. Okay.
I really enjoy Dr. D, but in the grand scheme of coasters I've ridden, it's probably like very low, maybe just outside top 50, if that.
I will say though, for Over Texas, it is a great addition. It is super marketable. It's gigantic and it fits the Texas theme very well. I think it's a good spot for it too, because it's going to just loom over you as you're walking into the park. I mean, 309 foot tall giga coaster, dive coaster right there is insane. But like I said, I'm just not a dive person. The GP are going to eat it up. That thing's going to be crazy popular, especially being right at the front of the park like that. I mean, that thing's going to be a slam dunk. But enthusiasts, it's definitely not designed for us. That I will say.
It's looking very Leviathan-like.
Yeah. It's got a strange kind of just setup to it. But I'm cool with it. I think it's a good addition for them. I would be upset if we were getting it. That I will say. If Great Adventure got that, I'd be fuming mad. But we're not, so not yet at least.
Well, if we're getting that mock spinner, I'm upset, but I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave it alone.
It's all right, Darius. You'll ride it in a year and you'll be happy.
I only get on a plane 20 times a year to come to Great Adventure to ride King Ka, and now I'm left with just El Toro, which is good enough. But if you replace it with a mock spinner, I'm going to be a little salty.
Well, hey, you do at least get to visit me when you fly out here, so there's that. Not as good as King Ka, I know, but
I won't lie. I actually come to visit you and Phil, and King Ka is just the bonus.
Well, I
You like Nitro?
that.
Nitro?
Nitro's Nitro. Thank you, Zach, for the monthly dono. I will enjoy my ice cream after the stream. But it was nice to talk about all these international park bucket lists. Now let me try to figure out where we were in the chat because I do not remember.
Were we still on about No, we were off of Siren's Curse.
I think we were here. Were we here?
Wait, you guys talked about Siren's Curse. Did you talk about any of the Texas stuff? Palindrome, Circuit Breaker?
We touched on the which
Breaker.
tilt we think is going to open first. Darius, which tilt do you think is going to open first?
I'm not going to say I have insider information, but I do drive past it a lot and talk to people. Circuit Breaker's opening up first.
Really? You think so?
Ding, ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding.
I think the amount of progress they have had, the fact that the weather is warm, the fact that all of the footers were there, the fact that everything is just lift and bolt at this point, and like Texas needs a win. I think Circuit Breaker is going to open up first, unless Cedar Point can pull a rabbit out of their hat. The season alone isn't going to help them. I'm not willing to bet more than $100 on it, but if anyone wants to take the bet, I'll do 100.
So my thing with that, Darius, how far along is Codaland itself? Because my thing was they need to not only wait for the ride to be ready, but wait for the park to also be ready.
What can I say? I think the coaster opens up before the park is ready.
A preview center for the park that includes a coaster.
Yeah, I think because they've been an unfinished project for a while, and I'll send a picture for you to use on the show next week. There's a very specific path from the parking lot, and it goes to Circuit Breaker and Palindrome and nothing else.
I guess they might as well then. But for all of you,
it's like an overglorified carny, dude. I'm not dissing them. I think they're going to be scattered coasters, scattered flat rides. They're not trying to compete with Six Flags. They're trying to be something completely different, a destination when you want to go to like a Formula One race or something else. And so they're going to give you the ability to have an all you can eat or a one ride is what I'm being told. I think they open this to be the first.
They've been waiting so long to actually open it. I think they'd be crazy to not blitz through and try to get this thing open first. So I agree. I think there's a good shot. I mean, if they are going to open it without the park actually fully being open, then absolutely. The real question is, which of, well, I'm not going to count Iron Rattler. Iron Rattler's on a whole nother level. Which one do we think is going to be better, Siren's Curse or Circuit Breaker?
I don't know. Siren's Curse has the onboard audio.
So let's look at that. Onboard audio, you have a veteran park who knows how to pour footers. I mean, there's been a significant amount of time between when the footers were poured and when Circuit Breaker was actually assembled, and we know how that goes. Just go back to the Meadowlands in New Jersey. When you put that much of distance in between footers and actually building a coaster, you usually get a rougher coaster. I think the fact that Cedar Fair and Cedar Park is behind Siren's Curse, even though a lot of the parts were sitting for years, like they know how to get a smooth coaster. I don't know. I think that's going to be the better ride, especially given I think it's 10% longer. The onboard audio shouldn't be underestimated. I do think we need to give credit to Coda Land for building a park pretty much in the middle of nowhere. But I think Cedar is going to get they're going to get the checkbox for the better coaster.
I think Siren's Curse also just looks like it has the slightly more exciting layout. They both look really good. And honestly, they both feel like they're going to be very similar in length. It's just, it comes down to what layout you prefer, what you like better in coasters. But I digress. I'm very excited to see the Tilt takeover of America. I don't think these are going to be the only ones, that's for sure. Let's see. Talked about that. When do you think Flash's Media Day will be? Probably right before the park opens, if I had to guess. Let's see. Again, I'm not answering any questions about Ka's demo. Alex, welcome, Alex. What's up, non-broken leg people? Alex, I hope you're recovering well. That from watching your Instagram stories, it did not look pleasant. So I hope you are doing well. For anyone who doesn't follow Alex, go check him out because he posts a lot of really cool content from parks that you don't see much content from other content creators in America. So check him out and wish him well because he's going through it. He's got to get that leg healed so we can get on Flash. Let's see. Wow, a lot of people dissing Cedar Point for some reason.
That'll happen.
A lot of repeat questions I'm seeing. Oh, here we go. I'm hoping for a mock spinner to replace Anaconda. That would be awesome.
Over the water would be
going to happen anytime soon? No, but I think that would be awesome. Especially if it was something like Ride. I can picture a Ride to Happiness style ride with it going over the water and having all these bonkers elements right there over that body of water, and that would just be incredible. Oh, we lost Darius. I didn't even realize.
Oh, no.
Well, hopefully he'll come back. But yeah, I think that would be great. Is it going to happen anytime soon? No.
How long do we think they wait to replace Anaconda?
Well, considering Vortex was removed in 2019 and nothing has been done with that plot yet, it's anyone's guess.
They also may have some problems building over the water.
That is true. That is very true. I don't know. We'll see. I'm really hoping for a Vortex replacement ASAP at Kings Island. That thing needs to be replaced badly with a really big thrill coaster too, not a family coaster.
Hey, listen, I got a controversial position. I think with the exception of X2 and his Japanese counterpart, I think all arrows must die. They're taking up valuable space.
Even Viper?
Even Viper. Dude, Viper is sitting on A, the most expensive plot of land in all of coasterdom. B, the most valuable in terms of forget selling it, but putting something else. Viper is keeping Six Flags, Magic Mountain from putting up something spectacular. So would you rather, moan about losing a classic arrow that beats the hell out of you, or would you rather get something exceptional?
Well, for the right ride, sure. It's a no-brainer. We didn't really get beat up too bad by it though, Colin.
I thought it was great. I love that thing.
I'm gonna beg to differ. I'm a professional arrow rider, and I left with bloody ears.
Really?
That thing beats you to hell. Literally.
Wow.
Literally a bleeding ear.
That I don't know about that. You must have just not ridden it right.
No, I got smacked. I looked over to someone and I got smacked coming out of the corkscrew.
That was your problem.
Rookie mistake, Darius.
Listen, you shouldn't have to have a PhD to ride a roller coaster.
You're not wrong.
I do say that too. I say you shouldn't have to ride a roller coaster a certain way to make it great.
And I'm willing to make the exception for X2 because it's so unique.
Fair. I don't know. I'm one of the biggest Viper fans out there. I will ride that hill till the day I die, so they better not touch it. I know they will, but I'll be upset.
I'm voting for it. I'm sorry. It's controversial.
Because Scream Machine was basically the exact same ride as that. And when I got to ride that, it felt like I rode what Scream Machine was. And, that was pretty cool for me.
I was raised on Screen Machine. I miss it. I love it, but it needed to go.
You're right.
Controversial.
You're right. It was
Pick
at
up
that age.
space.
And now it's taken up no space. It's just a giant dirt plot now.
And hopefully we're going to get something exceptional in its place.
Hopefully. Great Adventure's full potential is being realized until 2007. That's why I'm kind of lenient on Cedar Fair. Sure, they took out Ka, but I'm not going to act like Six Flags was treating us any better. That's a good way to look at it. Like I said, Great Adventure really was not expanding very much post 2006 at all. So this is going to be a time period where, given that the park does well, it's gonna just blow everyone's minds. Truly, it can become Cedar Point East.
Six Flags didn't have money to do anything, so
No.
They're bankrupt.
Orlando in the house. I'm getting harassed today. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry. So here's the deal. I'm gonna make a bold statement, and hopefully Six Flags is listening. Great Adventure, of all of the Cedar Fair / Six Flags properties, has the most potential. If they don't take advantage of it, that's on them. 1, proximity to New York City. 2, proximity to Philadelphia and points beyond. But when you think of usable space as an asset, there's no other park that has it.
You now have an entire land in the Golden Kingdom to work with.
Yeah, don't mess it up, guys.
Well, oh, you can go ahead. Sorry.
No, they have something that no other park has. I mean, when you think of the Merlin resorts, Thorpe Park, etc., they're all landlocked. They all have height restrictions. They have something weird going on. When you think of Cedar Point, it's on a peninsula. It's landlocked. Like, you got to work with so many variables. Great Adventure is the only park in all of Coasterdom right now that if you look at it as a blank slate, you can do whatever the hell you want, besides Kidia.
Not to mention, too, with the Golden Kingdom, you even had a ton of room in there to go, like, before you took out Cobb. Like, think of the old Baldwin's Jungle Land area. I mean, I know they dropped a haunted house in there, but still, there's tons of space back in there.
You have the lakefront, you have the golden area, you have something that every coaster park, and I'm going to just call them coaster parks at this point, not theme parks. Every park that cares about coasters wants what Six Flags Great Adventure has. It's up to them whether they take advantage of it or not.
Very true. Very true. Well, moving on. And I also want to thank you all. I've been watching on the side here what the concurrent viewers have been sitting at. We've been over 100 the entirety of the stream. So thank you to all of you for hanging out in here. This has been awesome. Where do you think Rapterra will rank amongst the B&M wing coasters? So I assume we're going to keep this locked to the US. So we got 5, including Rapterra. My wing coaster rankings are completely backwards from what most people's are because, well, I have not ridden X-Flight yet. That should change this year. But my least favorite is actually Thunderbird, which is most people's favorite. Thunderbird is my least favorite. Then Gatekeeper, and then Wild Eagle is my favorite, which I know. Usually it's the other way around for people, but that's how I am. I do think Rapterra could be the best. It just depends on how it runs and how the elements flow.
If B&M is still making bumpy coasters, I think listen, the wing coaster is inherently a smoother ride. I'm hoping that the bump curse for the last 5 B&Ms that I've been on that have been built recently doesn't strike Rapterra. I think it could be the best if it's bumpy like the kiddie coaster we went on in Florida and a couple of other things. The dive coaster over at Dorney, like those things are not B&M smooth. If it gets kissed by that curse, I don't think it's going to be in the top anything. Might be the top bumpiest coaster. Sorry to be negative today.
I get it. I mean, the B&M bumpiness was definitely a surprise considering B&M's reputation. So I'm thinking they might have gotten it sorted out for this one. From what I understand, it sounds like they got it sorted out, hopefully.
I also hope it's not as slow as the videos allude to.
It looked a little bumpy.
So that one video was when it was still very early in testing. And as far as I know, the wheel gaps were kind of loosened up just so they can watch the way the train moves on the track, and that's why you saw it like bouncing. When you look at newer testing footage, it's a lot tighter to the track, so it does not bounce like that, thankfully.
Okay.
But I mean, we're not going to know till we ride it. I think it looks like it has a great layout. It sounds good. I mean, it looks like a good ride, so I'm excited for it.
I've only ever ridden Gatekeeper, so that is my baseline.
That is my basing on things to Gatekeeper, and I'm not a fan. So
Really?
I'm indifferent to Gatekeeper. I could take or leave it.
They're essentially, to me, they're B&M floorlesses just with a different gimmick. That's the way I look at them.
now, if you get a dive coaster with the wing coaster train, that would be interesting.
That would be interesting.
I do think that's an awesome mashup. I do, Colin, I'm with you on the floorless with a different gimmick, with the exception of the fact that they give you this like flying sensation and they give you those keyholes when they do them right. So my favorite elements on Gatekeeper are those like near miss keyholes. I'm going to tell you, my favorite wing coaster, very controversial, is actually the Swarm.
Well, you have the better judgment on that one than me. I've never been out there.
The theming on Swarm and the fact that you're like near missing jet engines, near missing through keyhole signs, and pretty low form factor given the limitations of what Thorpe can build. Listen, this isn't a European, advertisement, but if you all want to see a proper wing coaster, the Swarm is it.
It looks good. It looks short. That's the only knock I have for it, but it looks good.
It is, but it's like the only wing I've been on that's infinitely re-rideable.
That's good to know.
I could live with short if it's impactful.
Very true.
If it's a short ride that is just nonstop, then that's a decent treat.
Look at my FPV on it. The theming on it is unlike anything you've ever seen. It's like a movie scene of an alien takeover, and every element of the ride interacts with something that's part of the theming. There's a 747 wing. There's ambulances. There's like full-size billboards that you go crashing through. It's an awesome ride.
That sounds pretty dope.
Yeah.
I bought the All Park Passport Prestige. Will all discounts apply at all parks or just my home park? So this is the way it works. If you bought your pass from a Legacy Six Flags park, your benefits will only apply to Legacy Six Flags parks. When you visit a Legacy Cedar Fair park with that pass, all you get is admission and parking, to my knowledge. And it's the same way if you bought it from a Legacy Cedar Fair park. If you bought your All Park Passport and your pass at, say, Dorney, Cedar Point, Kings Dominion, whichever one, you bought it there, all your benefits with that pass apply at those parks. But if you go to Legacy Six Flags, you do not get those benefits. You just get admission and parking. Make sure you know that, because some people are probably going to be in for a bit of a rude awakening when they're expecting 50% off from their Diamond Elite membership at Cedar Point. It ain't going to happen.
And your meal plan only works at the park.
Yes, exactly.
But I did find out that if you have the Old Parks Passport and you go into the Cedar Point app, you can purchase the food plan.
Which I don't know how much I trust that, just because I feel like it could be a software glitch, because I feel like they would have mentioned that more if that was possible. You know what I mean?
If it is, though, I still have to sort that out for myself. I have no form of entry.
We have a separate Six Flags and a separate Cedar Fair pass, just so we have dining on
It's
both.
definitely not cheap to add the Cedar Fair meal plan.
That's the thing.
Oh, no,
I think
they're
it was
not
like
cheap.
$500 last year to have the platinum, essentially what was the platinum Cedar Fair pass, plus dining, plus the paper cup drink
So you
plan.
better make sure you're going to be going there enough to make it work.
That's my conundrum right now. I could definitely see myself going to Kings Dominion and Cedar Point, but is that worth that?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Let's see. Next up. Do you think Great Adventure will ever allow on-ride filming like the SeaWorld parks? No. Cedar Fair operates very differently when it comes to that realm, and they do not like letting anybody film on their rides. That's just kind of how they've always been. So I don't see it ever getting like the SeaWorld parks. I think the SeaWorld parks are the way they are because especially in the Orlando and the Florida market, there's not much you can really do to police it. Universal's gotten it down pat pretty good, but if you look at Disney, they just don't care. You can almost do whatever on a Disney coaster. And SeaWorld and Busch, they kind of probably know that it's very hard to police it. So if you allow people to do it the right way, it's all you're getting out of it is free exposure. That's why I've always thought, to me, there's no reason you shouldn't be allowed to if you're doing it safely and with the right equipment, because it's just going to promote the park in a positive light on social. So I don't know. I still disagree with the fact that you can only do it at so many parks, but that's the way they want to run it. So you got to respect that.
I would say SeaWorld and Busch Garden parks are literally zoos, so anything goes, not to be offensive. But I do think the Cedar Fair and the Six Flags parks have a little bit of a different element, like where they are located. People are not always as responsible as they need to be. And I don't mean to sound like a parent, but I don't know how many times I've been almost hit by a phone, or in one case, actually hit by a phone, because, on-ride photography done properly is safe. On-ride photography with a phone is a potential health hazard. And so I
Happened
think
to
the Cedar,
Colin.
Yeah,
it
I
did
remember
happen to
getting
Colin.
hitting the elbow with a phone on El Toro. That was fun. Or no, was
Yeah.
it the elbow? Or was it? Yeah, well, it was right here.
Mhm.
It hurt. Not gonna lie, it hurt. I remember the next day I was talking because I went back the day after. I don't know why I did, but I did. And a few higher ups at the park came over. They're like, "We heard what happened. Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm fine." And then I think security wound up kicking the person out of the park. I think they got a ban, thankfully.
Do they even know who they hit?
They may not, but they know now that they're banned. That's for sure.
I caught
But
someone's rental car keys in the back row of El Toro.
oh,
They were 7 rows up.
wow.
One of our, yeah.
You completely lagged out for that sentence, Darius. I have no idea.
No, I got him. One of
you
his
got
El
him?
Toro marathons.
Oh, but yeah, no more El Toro marathons now. That's for sure, or at least likely. But yeah. Bottom line: don't film at parks that don't allow you to film. You're just going to make it harder for the people that do it the right way by getting permission. Let's see. Oh, there's all the comments about iROC. Gonna skip that. Let's see. Ooh, thoughts on the new super flume for Carowinds.
Oh,
So
that's
for those of you
right.
unaware, permits are out. Obviously, it's not been confirmed by the park or anything. This is just going off the permits. But it looks like Carowinds is getting one of those massive super flumes. I'm going to pull up a picture because I realize now that I'm saying it that it probably doesn't make much sense unless I show you guys. So let me do that. I believe Coaster Hub has it posted. Let's see. Yep, there it is. Let me stream it for you guys. It looks really cool. I mean, it's massive for starters. It's absolutely huge. Definitely a very unique attraction. Here we go. So this is what the permits look like. This, for those of you who maybe are familiar with Carowinds, right next to Fury, there's that giant plot of nothing. That's where their rapids used to be. And this is going to be replacing the rapids. This is what it looks like. So it looks like you have the station right here. You come out, you do a few turns, you go up a lift hill, you have a double down drop into a splashdown. Then you go over here. It looks like there is a turntable right here potentially. You go through more, you go up this lift hill, another turntable, I think. And then you have this ginormous drop. I don't know how big this actually is, but it looks huge. And then a massive splashdown section. So it looks like a great ride. Carowinds, from what I remember, they don't have a real water ride. So
Who's making it?
I should have kept the post up. Hold on. It looks like I don't know, actually. I don't know who's making it. Oh, Whitewater West. There we go. They are a pretty well-known water slide manufacturer, from what I remember.
Figured they wouldn't try Intimate again.
Yeah, definitely not. But I think it's cool. I was always hoping that we get like a really big coaster in that plot, but Carowinds does need a water ride. They haven't had one in a long time, ever since that closed, I believe, the Rapids. So it's great to see them getting one. That is going to be their new attraction for 2026, given that that's not like fake. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's real, but very exciting. Let's see.
If it's fake, it looks a lot better than that fake Togo email that came from Great Adventures, supposedly.
Yeah, that's very true. Let's see. When's opening day at Great Adventure this year? It is Saturday, March 29th. Their hours are 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., if I remember correctly. And Flash should be open on opening day.
And I am flying in.
Hell yeah.
Hey,
Let's
awesome.
go. Confirmed. Biggest announcement of the stream.
Let's see. What's your favorite part of El Toro? The camelbacks.
Yeah.
I love the Rolling Thunder Hill. I love the drop, but the camelbacks. That's what makes El Toro right there.
I love that first one. Like, basically from the bottom of the first drop into that first one.
That combo of airtime moments is unbeatable.
It's my chiropractor.
Yeah, especially if you're in row 4. I think I've ridden with you in row 4 before, Ken. You would know what I mean when I say row 4. Row 4 tries to kill you. It's awesome.
I don't know, man. I like the switchbacks. I like the little.
Really?
I like the bull run switchback.
Okay, fair enough.
I think it is the signature element on El Toro, but I do like the camelbacks, but the bull run switchbacks.
Okay, I can see it. So Darius, we talked about this before, but I didn't get it from you. Which of the removed rides at Great Adventure will you miss the most, other than King Ka?
Twister.
Twister, really?
You know how I feel about Lantern.
But what about Zoomanjaro
Oh, you know what?
and Skyway?
I figured I would combo that with King Ka. I didn't think I could go with Zoo.
Like a
So
2-for-1.
Skyway. All right, I'm gonna get emotional, people here. Skyway was like my little first kiss, man. That was the thing. Like Skyway has some emotions to it, but Zoo was awesome, man. I'm gonna miss Zoo, but I can answer it a better way. I will not miss Green Lantern. Good riddance.
Oh, the Lantern hate is killing me. I love Green Lantern, but I get it. Stand-ups are not for everyone.
No, that stand-up is not for everyone. I can ride a stand-up. I can't ride that thing.
Fair enough.
Riding it comes with instructions. Hey, it's like a gremlin. Don't feed it after midnight. Don't get it wet. Don't stand up. Don't do
That's
this.
a great analogy.
I'm like, wait, all I want to do is get on this thing and ride it. And Colin's like, no, what you have to do is you have to bend your knees at exactly 35 degrees. I'm like, no, I'm just not going to ride it.
How many stand-ups are left like that?
That was the
There's
gremlin
Riddler,
of roller coasters.
Scorcher, and Vortex. And I
Holy.
think
With
that's
the
it.
Scorcher Vortex, that might be it.
I can ride Riddler all day.
That I find interesting because I mean I didn't get to ride Riddler because lo and behold it was closed,
Mhm.
but I can't imagine it being that much more comfortable, so to speak, than Lantern.
It is. It wasn't moved like 9 times.
That's
I know,
true.
exaggeration. Exaggeration. It wasn't moved multiple times. It's in California. The weather is like pristine, and it was an exceptionally built coaster. I can ride that. I actually miss Mantis.
That's right.
Yeah, I
ever
never
get
got
to
to
do
ride it.
Apocalypse?
I miss.
Did you ever get to do Apocalypse series at America?
Oh,
I did. I'm gonna plead the fifth. I do not remember that one.
Ah.
I liked Apocalypse
not very
better than
memorable.
Firebird.
Ken, you had a reaction to the mention of Apocalypse.
oh.
So
Ouch.
that answers that.
I
Headache.
thought it was fine. I rode it in the pouring rain in the front row like a month before it shut down permanently, technically. And Firebird sucks. Apocalypse was great. I will stand by that till the day I die.
Fire, like I think I'm gonna rank. You know how everybody does like their top 25 around Christmas. This year I'm doing my bottom 25, and I can confirm that Firebird will make an appearance. I don't know where it'll be, but I know it's.
Oh, Darius, I think you muted yourself again.
No. I just had the craziest thing going on. Apparently, someone is watching your live stream and figured out that I am broadcasting from the corner of Ajax Mountain in Aspen, and was like, "Yo, are you live streaming right now?" I was like, "Yes."
Oh my god!
Wait, did they figured out your live streaming just in general, or you just came across a Hollywood fan in the wild?
No, a Hollywood fan in the wild just walked past. He's like, Are you on the stream right now?
That's wild.
In
I've
the middle
never
of
had
asking.
that happen before. That's crazy.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's a first.
Wow.
That's got to be a first.
Wow, well, that is a first. Congrats, Darius. You set a record.
No, that was you. That was you. They were watching you. I just happened to be on.
Fair enough. Oh, wow. All right, well, next up. Will you be going to Epic Universe in 2025? I'm planning on it. I don't know when, but I am planning on it. It'll happen at some point. And if I had to guess, it'll happen out of absolutely nowhere, and then I'll be there. That's my guess.
I think we have a slight edge. I won't talk about the edge. You know the edge we're talking about.
I do
though.
know the edge.
I know what it is.
Yes, I think we have an edge. I think we'll go to Epic Universe.
Well, that sounds good to me. Let's see. What's your new favorite coaster? I need to read this username first. King Dakar Remembrance Fan. Fair enough. What's your new favorite coaster? Great Adventure. And there's no new favorite. It was always El Toro. I will say that. I love Ka, but it's always Toro.
Same here.
El Toro.
Let's see. I'd like to ride more Medusa, El Toro, Nitro, Batman. Teresa. Well, you got plenty of time to ride them now with no King Dakar. I haven't seen Ace on the live in a while. Is he okay? Yep, he's just taking a little break from all the YouTube stuff. He got a Skyrush seat. I did. Sitting in it. There it is. And the video showing it will be out very soon. Ideally tomorrow. We'll see what happens, but it should be tomorrow. And even if you're not very mechanically
Big
inclined
shout out
person
to
like
Phil.
myself, yes, shout out to my dad. He did a great job with this. And if you're not even like a big person on construction or stuff like that, I still recommend watching this video because there's a lot of cool things in it.
It's beautiful.
I would have
So
to agree.
it's
I've
an
been sitting here for
engineering
so
marvel.
long and my back does not hurt yet, so I'm pretty happy.
Progress
There's
on
got
it.
to be a cushion you can.
Well,
put
the
on
thing
it.
is too, like it sits a little far forward and it's a little like straight up, so it is a little tricky when you're sitting in it too long. Like I kind of have to like slant myself forward and then tilt a little, but it works.
And you don't slide out because of the little nubbin.
Exactly, I got that little nub keeping me in. It's not the most comfortable for us guys, but you know it works.
The question is, has Phil been able to replicate the thigh crush?
Has Phil? Well, we don't have the restraint yet. That's the missing piece of the puzzle. If I got the restraint and I could just jam it in like they used to do, then I'd be fine. But no thigh crush yet.
Yeah.
I get the comfort of no contouring on the seat back, so I could get all my laterals like you used to get, and I don't get thigh crushing. I don't think it gets any better than that.
He has it as his keyboard holder.
Yeah, there you go. Honestly, that'd be a pretty cool trinket to use it for. You're using Skyrush as a chair. Yes, I am. It is forever immortalized as my chair. Let's see. Hello, Sunset here. What was your first Intamin hyper? So, funnily enough, I rode two of the best ones not very far apart from each other. I rode this Skyrush in August of 2017. And I rode Superman the Ride up at Six Flags New England in July of 2017. Those were my two first.
Same here, I think. Yeah, it would have been.
Darius?
Superman.
Yeah. Did you ride it as Superman Ride of Steels, Bizarro, or Superman the Ride first?
Superman the Ride.
Ah, okay. Ken, what about you?
I think mine was Millennium Force, I think.
Okay.
Ooh, you know what? Sorry, you're right.
Because it is technically the same model.
Yeah, Millie was actually no. I rode Millie, and then I rode Thunder Dolphin.
Ah, Thunder Dolphin.
I rode
It's exotic.
Thunder
pick.
Dolphin. Tokyo Dome.
Wow. That's sweet. Oh, it looks like my YouTube studio crashed. That's awesome. Moving on.
How's that build going, Tom?
Oh, we're on the last track piece. So I don't know what it is with like a few of the Hershey coasters I built, particularly the Lightning Racer one and Storm Runner, but like the metal pieces were so soft that like, or I don't know, maybe I'm using like a bad set of clippers. It's just kind of dull. But I don't know. It took like way more effort to cut the pieces out than I thought, but we're pretty much almost done. So we are
Making
on track.
progress.
Yes, we are making great progress here.
Very nice. Let's see. What is the next question? Ooh, where do you think the Zumanjaro gondolas will go? That's a good question. So at first it looked like they were just going to blow up the tower with them on. Thankfully, they took them off. So if I had to guess, they're probably in the Boneyard or something for now. They're probably going to wind up at Magic Mountain for Lex Luthor. Because my assumption with Lex Luthor, because I don't think Superman is going to stick around very long, if much longer at all, they're probably going to keep that tower there because unlike Ka, it makes sense for them to keep the tower there because it doesn't take up very much space, and then they can keep Lex Luthor and get rid of Superman. And then they have that whole run on the top of the mountain up there to do a coaster or something. So they'll probably wind up in Lex Luthor's hands, which I didn't get to ride Lex Luthor either because it was closed at Magic Mountain. Add it to the list of the things I missed there.
That, Justice League and Crazanity were the notable flats we missed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you happen to look at the original plans, that tower is a separate entity from the actual run-up. So they can take the leading track off and leave everything in the uprights standing if they choose to.
Hopefully they do. So we at least have one of the giant 400-footer Intamin drops.
It looks like they took all the brake fins off of Zoo, too.
They probably did. It's all more spare parts for Lex Luthor. I mean, Zumanjaro was barely open in 2024 anyway. So
I don't know why they would replace the entire gondola, though. I mean, maybe just keep it on hand in case they ever need to, but I don't think they would just do it.
I mean, they can extract all the parts from it and just leave the chassis. Let's see. Magic Mountain has the same theming problem as Great Adventure. Some areas are nicely themed, like the Underground Steampunk District and Samurai Summit. Then you have bland areas like Goliath Plaza. Yeah, I mean, I do think Magic Mountain, just because of its terrain, has a more interesting set of themed areas than Great Adventure. Golden Kingdom was by far my favorite at Great Adventure. Obviously, that's not really the case anymore since it's half gone. Frontier Adventure, like I feel like a lot of them, they have a lot of potential, but they're just not there yet. And I think that'll change soon with Cedar Fair coming in, especially because their creative team is so good. So I think we'll see both parks improve immensely. I think Great Adventure, like I said, though, is just going to get more investment.
I don't know if people have been at Samurai Summit lately, but it has seen better days. So I think while it is exceptionally themed at its peak, I think it needs a complete redo.
I'm just hoping that redo doesn't include the removal of Ninja, but a bad feeling it will. And I didn't get to ride Ninja. That was another ride that was closed.
Another one we missed.
Yeah.
I unfortunately...
What did we do at Magic Mountain?
It's a good question.
I unfortunately have Ninja in the all arrows must go category.
Come on. The suspended coasters are so good.
Yeah. I like them, but they're getting rickety.
Come on. Vortex at Wonderland, though. Come on. You can't hate on that one.
No, maybe it's one of the handful that we keep to remind us of the good old days.
Too. Yeah. Vortex is better, though. I wish I could own a B&M Hyper seat. That would be, I mean, as comfortable as this can be, that is like the gold standard of comfort right there. That is comfy.
The gold standard of comfort.
Those things are really
comfort of seats. Hey, you did bathrooms, so.
Yeah, that's true.
I might rank bathrooms.
I could rank the individual seats of every ride at Great Adventure. That'd be something.
And here we go. Before the end of the stream, it is done.
Oh, look at that. Congratulations.
I will add it to the other Intamin hydraulic launch nano coaster that I own.
I hate that they won't even keep Zumanjaro to either move it to another area of the park or relocate it. They can't move it without Ka's tower. So that's kind of the thing with Zumanjaro. When they put that there, that was done with them having to know that when Ka was done, that was done. I mean, there's really nothing they can do to keep it. Because the structure of Ka revolves around Ka itself. So when you get rid of the coaster, it doesn't really work without the coaster.
They are not very independent of each other.
Yeah.
What was
What's
that
the-
tilt drop that we just went on at Busch Gardens?
Yeah, Falcon's Fury.
Yeah, that one
So
that
good.
one's one to put on the list.
That
That's a
was
good
fun.
one. That's.
That
I don't know
pushed
how
my
much longer it
limits.
has in this
I
world.
don't think it has much longer.
Same with Kumba.
Ooh, yeah. Bye, Kumba.
Next up, what's the point of no re-rides? I find there's nothing wrong with it. I agree. There's two reasons I think they have. It depends on who you ask. One, I have actually heard this at the SeaWorld parks, that they don't want you riding more than twice in a row because they don't want you to get sick, which I'm sorry, everybody's an adult. At least majority of people that are riding rides are adults. You can regulate how much you can ride a ride before you get sick. Granted, not everyone can, but if you're the type of person that's going to be riding over and over again, I think you know your limits. So I don't like that reasoning. Another reasoning is that some parks and some rides still use just the turnstile to count how many riders per hour they get. And when you're re-riding, that completely throws off the count. So like a Great Adventure, when re-rides were allowed, pre-iROC, you would see up at the op booth, you see them clicking because they had a clicker and they would click for every rider they saw. And I mean, re-riders, it wouldn't really matter because they would see anyway. But when they're using a turnstile system, which interestingly enough, Great Adventure did just get rid of all their turnstiles. But when they use a turnstile system, they would not be able to account for you staying on 10 times, 20 times, however many you were on. So it would totally mess up their count for the hour. And, they want to keep everything proper. Empty seats would not be counted.
No, I thought they counted empty seats to know how many.
Well, yeah, they would count the empty because it's quicker to count the empty seats than to count the full seats usually.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you stayed on,
I was happy they had the 2-ride rule on Iron Gwazi.
I wasn't. I wanted to stay on that thing all day.
That thing was.
It did kill me by the end, but I would have loved to stay on forever. Next question. Thoughts on the Vekoma Thrill Glider coming to Magic Mountain? This is an interesting one, a very interesting one. You guys are all familiar with this, right?
Yeah.
Darius, Ken, do you guys know this one?
Did we lose Colin?
Maybe. You might have.
No, I still have you, Colin.
Still have me? Okay, good. I know I've been having some weird Wi-Fi issues. Do they hear me?
Do you guys hear Colin? I seem to be the only one who can hear everybody.
I can hear him.
I'm the
hear
link
everyone.
here.
Oh, okay, good. Well, Darius and Ken, are you guys familiar
Thoughts
with
on the Vekoma Thrill Glider coming to
There you go.
Magic Mountain? That's the question.
That is the question.
Yes.
Okay, you are familiar with it. I don't
So
know how
it's
to feel about it.
Coming. I guess we're there. The question is it going to be more like Tron or is it going to be something else?
That's the tricky thing about it, because they can either go the heavy thrill route and make it something like Fly at Phantasialand, or it's going to be Tron with a weird seating arrangement, and I don't know which one it's going to wind up being.
I'm going to do my best Colin impersonation, so I'll hand it over to you guys.
I don't think it belongs at Magic Mountain.
I agree.
Yeah, no,
Ooh.
I think there's better suited parks for it.
Like Magic Mountain's known for extreme thrill rides, and I don't think this is going to be an extreme thrill.
It does kind of balance the lineup a little more, though.
True.
But I think there are other parks in the grand scheme of things that could use something like that a little more, just for the sheer fact that they haven't gotten anything like the Six Flags Americas or like the. Was I about to say Geauga Lake? Wow, no, I meant like Michigan's Adventure or like Valley Fair, like one of those like smaller parks.
Darien Lake, give it something.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That would definitely be nice. Next up. Do you think Great Adventure will get another drop tower at some point? Hopefully. I mean, they seem to be a dying breed, actually, unfortunately, because they're my favorite flat ride by far, but we haven't seen that many built as of late.
I think after the incident, it's going to be less and less of a popular option.
I think you're probably right about that.
Give us a power tower. Seems to be the thing.
The SNS ones seem to never really have very many issues. So I see people in the chat asking where the Skyrush chair is. Right here. There will be a video out likely tomorrow showing the build process.
It's so dark you can barely see it, Colin.
Well, you can see it relatively bright. I mean, I got the StreamYard reflection here. I like to have it dark in the room, though. It kind of makes me look a little more dramatic.
Spoiler alert. Phil did an amazing job of welding a bunch of stuff that none of us probably could do to make the chair an awesome reproduction. Spoiler alert. That's all I'm telling
Also,
you.
spoiler alert, the
It's like they
videos of
ripped
him
it
welding
right
came out really cool.
off the train.
I've never seen, because you don't really see videos of welding that often, and I decided to catch it, and it came out really cool. Here we go. The Local Idiot. That's a pretty funny username, actually.
The Local Idiot says,
Did anyone here like Green Lantern besides me and Hollywood Studios? Let's pull the crew here. Well, we know Darius's answer. Darius
The
despises
answer is no. I get 10 votes too.
Ken, I don't think you liked it very much either, did you?
You know my answer. You know how I looked every time I got off that thing when you
That's
tried to
true.
teach me how to.
Every time I turn, I'd be filming you. I'd be like, Ken, what'd you think?
"What'd you think?"
Every time.
But,
It was like you had to, like, as Darius said, you had to put your left leg up this angle. It just no. For a guy,
I'll tell you,
It was the hokey pokey gremlin of roller coasters.
I enjoyed it. Nowhere near my favorite, but for what it was, I thought it was fine. And it's one of those few coasters that I have my first photo on it and I have my last photo on it. So that's also like a fun little nugget there.
That's cool.
Maybe we can have that like as a stream bonus. I'll dig. I can find my first picture on it. It's not good.
did anybody write it as Chang?
I was going to say, I actually didn't mind it when it was Chang. I minded it when it got moved.
Huh.
See, it's funny because Lantern, the first half is a mirror image version of Rougarou or Mantis. The same layout for the most part until you get to the mid course, and then it changes up a little bit. Otherwise,
I was never a fan of moving rides. I think moving rides ruined them.
it definitely knocks a few years off the service life. That's for sure.
I'll tell you what, Colin. I'm going to send to your Hollywood Studios Instagram a picture of my first ride on Green Lantern, and I will give you a bonus to see who I look like. I will be extremely vulnerable here. It's not a good picture. It's not a good picture. I was 14 years old in it, and my dad thought it would be funny to do a side-by-side. I'll let you show the picture first. I was 14 in this picture.
Okay.
I am leaned forward. I'm dehydrated, and it looks like my face is being ripped off my body. So that's pretty cool. I'm wearing my Mr. Rogers shirt.
I was going to say, is that Super Mr. Rogers?
That is a Mr. Rogers. No, it's just a Mr. Rogers shirt. But then my dad thought it would be really funny to say that I looked like Benicio del Toro. So you just got that one too, Colin, if you want to show the side-by-side.
Let me open it up.
As if like half the audience knows who Benicio del Toro is. But yeah, it's a fun little bonus for all y'all who tune into the stream.
There you go. Yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah, and I'm sure y'all have seen the last picture too, because they always make their way into the trip reports. But
They do.
Good times. I will miss it. If nothing else, it gave me a very funny memory.
Very true. Very true.
Speaking of Chang, how about Kentucky Kingdom renaming all the rides?
Oh, I forgot about that.
That did happen. That totally happened. How did we not talk about that?
I know. I completely forgot about it. Probably because I wanted to act like Wind Chaser is not a thing. Because I do not like that name.
That does sound very Chat GPT.
I'm curious if they're going to repaint it because they've hinted that they are. And if they are, I'm really excited about that because we don't see RMCs with cool paint schemes all the time. And they have an opportunity to do something pretty cool with it. But I am excited to see them kind of transform Kentucky Kingdom into essentially a mini Dollywood or Silver Dollar City. It looks like that's what they're trying to do with it. And I think that is really cool. Let's see. Do you think the rumors of Medusa closing at the end of 2025 will be true? No. Plain and simple. No. Have you ever had a dream where you were riding a roller coaster? Many times. Many, many times.
I have this thing where I'll dream about Great Adventure, but it's like slightly different.
Yeah,
That's
like
always,
a
those
slight
are
like
always fun.
multiverse variant version.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. Let's see. Next up. I already answered that. Do you think Green Lantern was better than Rougarou? Yes, I do. I like the second half better. on Lantern than I do on Rougarou. Plus, I do like the stand-up position better.
Better than Rougarou? Yes. Better than Mantis? No.
Okay.
Better than Rougarou? Yes. Better than Mantis? No.
Fair.
Mantis was a better ride.
I do prefer, like, I as crazy as it sounds, with certain layouts, I do prefer the stand-up position because I feel like it allows you to feel the forces more. Like Lantern, for instance, there was a lot of airtime moments that you wouldn't realize unless you rode it as a stand-up as it was. If it was a sit-down, you probably wouldn't have felt them as much. So there's that.
All right, people. I got to go.
All righty, Darius.
Sorry. Pleasure as always.
Thank you
for
for hopping in.
the opening day.
Go follow him at Coaster_Jones on Instagram.
Thank you. All right, everyone.
Countdown to opening days now.
All righty. Good night, Darius. And we continue on. Sammy was supposed to join. I don't know where he is.
He's probably in line for Guardians.
Yeah, he probably is trying to get another ride on Guardians. I see everyone complaining that Sammy's not here yet. Sorry, guys. Go yell at him on Instagram.
And Guardians with a standby queue.
Yes. Oh, that's right. That's
we missed a lot.
I see. That's why I asked you guys. I always forget everything.
Hey, I had my contribution to that list. We just all collectively missed a ton.
That is true. So yeah, Guardians, and Tiana's, I believe, right?
Yes, that was the two.
They are switching off of virtual queue, and Guardians is a big one because that's been on virtual queue since it opened in 2022, and it kind of seemed like it was never going to not be on virtual queue anymore, and now it's off. I mean, I think that's a good thing. Sammy wasn't happy about it. I'm happy about it because you don't have to wake up at 7 a.m. to ride it now and hope that you get a boarding group. So I think it's a good thing. That's how rides should be. You should be able to just go and wait in line when you want to ride it. Siren's Curse paint job is my biggest pet peeve. They could have easily repainted it. I wouldn't say easily. If they went ahead and repainted it, it was not going to open this year. It's not like Georgia Surfer where it's a really small layout. Siren's Curse is much longer. So I do agree it is a bit of a pet peeve. I would much rather have seen like Blue Track. Well, actually, Blue Track and Gray Supports would just look like the Millennium Force. So maybe like teal blue track and purple supports.
And it's been moved to multiple countries and still looks good.
Yeah, it's been all over the place, man. It went on the world tour. Poland, Mexico, USA, been all over the place.
Coaster's more well traveled than me.
Would you travel to Saudi Arabia to ride Falcon's Flight? I would like to. I definitely would like to. Let's see. More Vacomas at Great Adventure. I think it's definitely a possibility. I could see a large scale Vacoma multi-launch coming over to us at some point, or tilt.
It's funny how we survived the 90s at Great Adventure without getting a Vacoma. Now,
yeah, we've never had a bad Vacoma at Great Adventure. We got Flash and Houdini. We never had a bad one. Let's see. How was Savannah? So I didn't actually stay at Savannah Sunset. I was brought through on a tour of Savannah Sunset, and I saw like what the rooms look like and everything. And it is gorgeous. It is just phenomenal. Actually, they did release the schedule for bookings. Let me pull up the press release so I can show you guys. I did forget to mention that. I didn't make a video about it because it's not necessarily video worthy. All right, let's see if I can. No, I can't hide that. I'll just list off the dates. So it's available. It opens to the season April 11th. They're booking the 11th to the 20th, the 25th to the 27th in April, and then daily from May 2nd to November 2nd. And then it's weekends through all of November, and the last day is November 30th before it closes for the season. So it's definitely worth the stay, I say. I also heard that it performed very well in 2024, very well. They were always booked and just very good to hear because I know that was a big passion project for the park, and I'm glad it worked.
They don't have to lower the price.
Yes, they don't because it did well. There's a certain audience that attracts, and they came.
Well, if you're coming from far away and you stay there, everything you get makes the price worthwhile, really.
Yeah,
true. Sticker shock, but it's worth that price.
You get entrance to the park, you get fed, so you get the safari experience. So
there's a lot of benefits from it, for sure. Let's see. Next up, a lot of repeat questions for some reason. Oh, this is a good one. Do you think Great Adventure should have a museum of removed rides with parts of the tracks and things? Absolutely, because Great Adventure probably has the deepest lineup of defunct rides. We have so many rides.
They also still have like pieces and parts and vehicles from a lot of them still.
They do.
The Forgotten Garden, or
they
whatever
really
they
could
called
introduce that. They had it partially.
Yeah.
It wasn't the most cool rides, but they had something. Let's see. And also, they could buy back the chiller sign from the farm that has it in New Egypt, I believe it is. Because
totally good.
It's still there. Might as well. Aren't goggles required for Falcon's Flight? They are not required because it has that windshield on the front that blocks the wind. So it defeats the purpose, the need, I should say, for glasses. Which, honestly, I would rather them require goggles because having the windshield, you're not going to feel any wind. That kind of defeats the purpose of having the world's fastest coaster, in my opinion, but I digress. Oh, yeah, and I forgot to tell Darius before he left, the chat, there's 135 votes, and 55% say that, yes, Falcon's Flight is truly 600 feet tall. So, there you go. Let's see. Next up. We are getting towards the bottom, actually. I'm very surprised. We're making quick work of all these questions. That's a rarity. Do you think that Cliff will be able to hold up the stress of the trains on the drop? I presume we're talking about Falcon's Flight. I mean, it's Intamin, so yeah, I would think so. They wouldn't have done it if it wasn't going to be able to. B&M needs to make a B&M wing tilt coaster. I don't think B&M will ever do that, quite frankly. It would be cool, but that doesn't sound like B&M's kind of thing. My favorite dive coaster is Griffin of BGW because the Splashdown. Splashdown is great, and that one has a lot of airtime moments. That's why it's my favorite. I think Rakshasa will be good. It has a very interesting looking layout. It's very inversion heavy, which I think is cool. And that drop should be good too. It's the steepest one on a dive. Let's see. A lot of people complaining about the spinner. See, what I don't understand about the hate with the mock spinner. So I don't know how many people have actually been on an extreme spinner. I believe in this group right here, I'm the only one. Time Traveler is amazing. It is such a great ride. And people complain about spinning coasters. I can tell you, you are not going to get sick on an extreme spinner. They don't spin like crazy like the Gerstlauers or anything like that. They are relatively regulated. And as I'm saying that, it looks like we have a special guest joining us. There he is.
Oh, man, there he is.
Where is he? Made it.
Sammy's in the middle of King Dakar, it looks like.
Oh, yes, the basketball court. I see
court.
it now. I see it.
It fell down.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't think this actually exists anymore. So Sammy traveled back in time to join us. But Sammy, welcome on in. We are talking about why people don't like mock extreme spinners for some reason.
Because they suck and they've never ridden one, probably.
Well, yeah, if they had ridden one, I think they'd be pretty stoked about the possibility of a tower one coming to Great Adventure. Because, again, I get that a linear layout doesn't seem to make much sense. I'm presuming there's going to be some sort of a force that makes you spin on a launch, just like Ride to Happiness. And think about it, right? If you're going through a stall that has a launch on it, and you're spinning in the entrance and exit of that launch, you're going to get crazy forces. And then going up that tower, facing straight down, you never got that on King Dakar. That wasn't a thing. Could you imagine what that's going to feel like? It's going to be unbelievable if that winds up being the thing. So I think there's a lot to be excited about when it comes to the mock extreme spinner, especially the tower one that could be coming to Great Adventure. Let's see.
But you only get that if you're lucky.
If you're lucky, but that's why you ride it more. Well, I guess you can't re-ride now, but you'll go back around and wait in another 2-hour line. Then you get to find out.
Right.
Unpopular opinion, King Dakar is the best coaster. It's not the best coaster. I will say that.
It's also not unpopular, though.
No, there's a lot of GP that do think it was the best coaster. What ride do you think will close next at Great Escape? There's nothing that really jumps out at me. I mean, maybe Steam and Demon, but it doesn't seem like it's in bad shape or anything, so I don't see why they would need to. Do you think Great Adventure could ever get a dive? I hope not. I don't like dives. I'd much rather
be redundant with Dornies right up the road.
They're starting to spawn in everywhere now, so
that's
hopefully
the
we don't get one. I'd much rather get a wing. If we were to get a new,
we've gone from everybody getting inverts to everyone getting pandemoniums to everybody getting dives.
Yeah, pretty much. Never would have thought that originally. Yes, I agree with you, Jaden, 100%.
Hi, Ken.
Sammy,
I haven't seen you in a while.
how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, Ken?
A wing coaster, Great Adventure.
What'd you say?
Sing your King to Casa.
The King of Ka song?
Oh yeah, Sammy.
You got to sing the album.
The exact quote, Sammy. Safri Duo might have written it, but you perfected it.
I did.
That was what I said.
Yes. No, I can't do any live performances.
I know.
A wing coaster, Great Adventure would be cool in the spot of Lantern. Funny story, that was supposed to happen. We were supposed to get X-Flight, supposedly. And then we wound up with
by the lake. I thought it was supposed to go by the lake.
That was the thought in 2016 with Joker. Everyone thought originally that was going to be a B&M wing, and then it wound up being Joker. But supposedly, back in the early 2010s, we were supposed to get X-Flight, and then we didn't. And Great America got it.
And then they found Chang.
And we got that. Which, if we did get a wing, it would not have gotten removed. So that would completely change whatever their plans are for the boardwalk now. Oh, yeah, Sammy, you also missed it. Darius was in Colorado. He's in Colorado right now, and he was standing like at the corner of a street or something out on the stream, and someone walked up to him and asked him if he was on the Hollywood live stream right now.
No way.
Yes.
No.
That's exactly what happened.
That's not real.
No, that's what we thought. But
and someone put in the chat, someone IRL stream snipe Darius. For those of you that are older, don't know what that means. That doesn't mean what you think it means. It means find him. And they found him. I will say that. So
that's so funny.
I like how Jungle Expedition takes up half of King's Dominion. That's what Great Adventure should do with the Boardwalk, Golden Kingdom, and Plaza del Carnival. Make it one big Golden Kingdom. I wouldn't be entirely against that. I do think it's awesome that Jungle X is so much of King's Dominion because Jungle X is a phenomenal area.
I don't know. It's the Jersey Shore. You kind of need a boardwalk.
You do kind of.
No, that's what the Jersey Shore is
by just
for.
driving half an hour east.
I know, but it's.
I'd rather like Fantasy Fair. That would be cool.
Pine Barrens can be, if they really flesh out the Pine Barrens area, that can be our New Jersey location.
It could. It absolutely could.
No, but Fantasy Fair was supposed to be an extension off of the Fantasy Forest.
Oh, I stand corrected. Earlier in the stream, I said that Siren's Curse was not going to have seatbelts. That's not true. I'm looking at a picture of a seatbelt on it right now. I was told that it wasn't going to have seatbelts, but I guess that's not true because I see one. I'll actually show you. Thank you, Zach, for sending me this. There you go. There's the seatbelt. You can see it right there.
Maybe they're taking it off. Maybe it's in progress.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But as of right now, there is a seatbelt on it.
Would Zach sent that to you?
Sapole.
Ugh. That guy.
That guy. Tom, someone would like to see your Nano.
Oh, yes. So I actually was able to finish this one. I know it's like a toss-up whenever I do these, if I'll finish them or not. Here it is, completed Skyrush. Wow. This is Stormrunner, the other S Intamin coaster at Hershey.
I mean, it's not a very long layout anyway, so it probably wasn't.
This was only. Yeah, these were 3 pieces. All of this was 3 pieces. Just cutting them out was a pain in the neck, but there we go.
Hershey makes it easy.
They sure do.
Let's see. I hope S&S brings back their original 4D coaster model. Isn't it still on their site as like an offered model? I'm pretty sure it is. Just nobody
It
wants
is.
to buy it. I mean, they're complicated, they're expensive, they're maintenance nightmares, so I don't blame them necessarily. It's a shame though, because they are really cool. To all four, have you ridden Scream Machine? I think Ken's the only one.
Yeah, no, I don't think I didn't write it.
I was on the final train of Scream Machine.
Wow.
Yeah, me and Colin rode it. We're on the first train ever.
Yeah, I rode it back in 1989.
I actually
Yeah, it's
like
pretty
Scream
cool.
Machine.
It looked
But you had to know how to ride it.
Oh, hey, it no different than Green
That's
Lantern.
like what was put there.
Let's see. Yes, Great Adventure definitely does have more potential than Cedar Point. I'm in need of a Vekoma launch at Great. Well, we are getting a Vekoma launch. We have Flash, but I would like to see a big one. Yeah, I agree. Greetings from the Netherlands, where it's 3:07. Well, that's military time, so 3 in the morning. You're a trooper for staying up to watch the Collywood live stream that late.
Wow.
This is also from an hour ago, so it's now 4 a.m. MV, if you're still on, you're a trooper. Oh, wait. I just realized we have a lot more questions than I realized because it didn't all load.
Well,
I'm still at
somebody-
9:07, and it's now 10 o'clock. Wow. Okay. I'm trying to start moving through these quickly. Let's see. I see a question. Someone's asking about Hershey's room prices for the summer. I would assume as you get towards peak season, it's probably just going to go up. Personally, when I go out there and I stay overnight, I go to the Hershey Lodge. That's one of my favorite offerings they have. Hershey Hotel is great too. There's a lot other than just Hershey Park. There's a lot you can do in that area. So, I mean, I would say for the convenience, it's definitely worth it. I forget if you get parked. I don't think you get park tickets with a night at one of their hotels. I don't think so. But I would recommend Hershey Lodge. Hershey Lodge is my favorite one out there. Let's see. Definition of short but impactful volcano. And I wish I could tell you my opinion on it, but
Me
I
too.
went when it was SB&O, unfortunately. Do you think Great Adventure will hold the record for the world's highest coaster ever? No, because there's a coaster that exists that is taller. So, no.
Nobody's going to beat that record.
Yeah, I don't think Falcon's Flight will ever get beaten.
It's actually not worth trying.
Yeah, it probably isn't. It's marketable, sure, but the amount of money you have to spend to make that happen, forget it. Oh boy. My friend was hit with a bra on El Toro last year. Dead serious. That's not sure how that happened.
It could
I
happen.
do not think I was
hit.
working for that one.
I got hit with a. I guess I got hit with like a ring or something because I like felt it. It came like very close to hitting me in the throat, but it was like right here, and I had like a circle right near my collarbone for like 2-3 days.
I remember getting hit with a penny on Nitro. I don't know why I vividly remember that, but I do. It was right in my forehead too. With the will the all park passport have free general parking? Yes. You get admission and parking to all the parks. Let's see. How do I find the other guy's YouTube channel? I'm not sure which other guys you're talking about. Ken doesn't have anything social because he's not a very social guy. We got Tom's Instagram. Darius has Instagram and Sammy has Instagram. None of them really have YouTubes though.
I technically have a YouTube.
Technically, but that's like me saying technically. Well, I can't even think of something, but you don't use it, so it doesn't really count.
I use it sometimes, on occasion.
Let's see.
Sounds like you lost your voice, Sammy.
Yeah, it's recovering.
Is that Guardian's voice lost there?
No. Fortunately.
Oh, there's Guardians rides. Sammy, how many Guardians rides are you at for 2025?
I'm not going to say the number, but it's over 50.
Okay.
I don't ride it every day. I promise. I don't ride it every day. Alex
Right.
goes to Epcot more than I do.
Okay.
He's laughing. He's laughing because he knows it's true.
Okay, sure.
You just said it. There you go.
But I'm sure you still rode Guardians more than Alex did.
Here comes Alex.
Oh, here comes Alex. Alex got to defend the title. Hi, Alex.
Right? You go right.
Set
You
the
end up
record
going to Epcot more.
I do.
Yes.
Okay,
see,
but
I
Alex,
have a problem.
Sammy, ask Alex if he rides Guardians more than you.
no, he doesn't. I'll tell you that straight up. I don't have to ask him.
What's
That's
up?
what I thought.
If you ride Guardians more.
No.
Yeah, I do.
There's the issue. Anyways,
I'm going for Festival of the Arts.
with the Insane Toro retrack coming next year, do you think it will reclaim the title for best wooden coaster in the world? It could. For me, it's still my favorite wooden coaster. So the only time it wasn't was when Lightning Rod was wooden and good, meaning launched at full speed.
In 3 years, it will be good.
Yeah.
El Toro was amazing when it first opened. That was a beautiful ride. Beautiful ride. So smooth.
What's your favorite ride at Dollywood and BGT? Well, the RMC at each park.
I should go to Dollywood this year. I do have a free ticket.
Wow, Zach. Heads up for that video referencing the Skyrush video. Colin is not as smart as he will sound. That is not true. I am exactly as smart as I sound in that video.
Should I put him in timeout for that?
You should. He does deserve a timeout for that.
How long? 5 minutes? 10 minutes?
5 minutes is fair.
Okay.
I've never been to Dollywood either, so.
Let's go.
There you go. Tom and Ken road trip.
Yeah, that could be a fun vlog.
Little side quest.
That would be a fun vlog.
What do you think was the biggest blown opportunity in Great Adventures history? To me, it was RMC Rolling Thunder. I don't think there's anyone bigger than that. So yeah. Granted, it's not that they couldn't have done it, and it's not that they could have.
They wanted to.
They wanted to, but it would have cost so much money because of what condition the ride was in.
They had to redo the entire ride to get it up to
Yeah, they were essentially building a new
structure.
coaster ground up.
I've got pictures of the weeds growing out of that thing. It was.
Well, you can see it. You can see it on the piece that's still there. How much?
Well,
it's
still
been
there for
overgrown.
now. That could be gone soon.
I always figured it was like a structural thing.
It is. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's why they haven't removed it.
That. No, I thought you meant the ride itself. That I don't know. I think they kept that there just as memoriam.
They were supposed to put the trains on it.
Oh, they were?
Yeah, they were
Well,
talking.
probably can't hold them anymore.
Now I think they're at Knoebels.
Yeah. Let's see. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna skip that. I don't know how that slipped through the detection software. Do you think they will keep a part of one of Ka's trains at the park?
No.
I mean,
No.
I'm going to lean towards no just because of the PR associated with how it was removed. They probably want to stay away from that.
Where
But
do
you
you
never know.
where do you send those trains, Zoe? Who could use them, if at all?
I mean, there's bits and pieces that can be used from it across
Right.
multiple, but like Maverick, Cheetah Hunt, I-305, they all use, and even Stormrunner and Fahrenheit, they use a bit of a modified version of those trains. Like they're mostly the same, but they are
Maybe it's not the whole trains, but some parks could get bits and pieces.
right. Like Cheetah Hunt, they could take the over the shoulders and just paint them black. I don't think Busch Gardens really needs to, but they could. I mean, there's a lot of parts they could reuse. The seats, but they're probably worn at this point, so I don't know. Let's see. Wouldn't it be cool to have an El Toro test seat sitting in your room? That would be pretty cool to have the test seat just plopped in the back over there. I can go like watch TV from it. That'd be pretty sweet. What will it take and when will Great Adventures attendance surpass the record from 99? I believe in 99 they came close to 4 million, I think. Something like that. And they have not been near there since. The highest they were since then was like 2019. And then ever since COVID, it's been so.
What will it take? The what will it take piece, though, I think you got to have that record-breaking car replacement, and infrastructurally, I think that's a word. I think they need to add a hotel. I think those are two key pieces if they want to beat that record. And I'll say Let's say somewhere in the late 2030s.
I'd say early to mid 2030s. I think they have a 10-year outlook. I think that's what we're looking at here. We'll see what winds up happening, though. Where do you guys rank Boulder Dash? I'm not big on Boulder Dash. I have not ridden it in like a prime condition. I rode it in 2017 and 2021. Both times I thought it was really rough, and the airtime was all right. Though I have not ridden it with any Titan track yet. So
I do want to get. I did go to Lake Compounce. I think in 2023. But literally the only open coasters were Phobia and it was Phobia and Zoomerang. So at least I picked up Zoomerang because that was closed when we went in 2021.
yeah, I still don't have Zoomerang.
But you got the kitty credit, and I will literally never get it. And you literally got it because I was like,
you helped me get on.
Yeah,
we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
They used to have an event called Boulderfest for Lake Compounce and I've ridden it many times. Some years it was great, and some years it would rip your spine out. So it depended on how the track was doing on Boulder Dash.
Mm.
I've not ridden it with the latest retracking.
You have not ridden it with the Titan track?
No.
I really want to give Wildcat another shot because that is probably the worst coaster I've ever ridden.
But yeah, they did retract quite a bit of it now. So
yeah, so I need to give it another shot.
And Wildcat's getting a whole retrack.
Yeah, they're going to finish it off now.
Good.
It was just the first half. Now they're doing the second half too.
That was the worst coaster I think I've ever been on.
Yeah, it was brutal. Why can't amusement parks keep sky rides going when the ski industry has no problems? And it looks like Alex answered this for us. The thing is, gondolas and ski resorts, 30 years. The gondolas are in ski resorts for 30 years, and they're done, and then they replace them when they're deemed not safe or viable anymore. And theme parks, they don't quite do that because they have other things to tend to. Let's see. I gotta scroll through some more of this here because we're getting a little long on time. Let's see. What are your opinions on if Top Thrill 2 fails next year and gets removed? That's a little brutal. What do you think will replace it? I'm gonna say it's gonna be okay. I think they did a lot of work to it to make sure it will work. And I don't think they would be coming right out and saying it will be open on opening day if they weren't confident in that. So I'm going to be hopeful here and say it has no issues this year. I hope it doesn't because it was great. I will say I don't know if it'll be – I don't want to say as good. I don't know if it'll be the same as it was in 2024 because the thing was in 2024, and Ken and I know this, the fact that you sat so high off the chassis and you had that heart lining that didn't match up with the original track, totally insane experience. Words cannot describe what that top hat felt like as a result of the crazy heart lining. I have a feeling they dropped the height and that the heart lining is more in line with the original dragster, which will definitely lessen the insanity of the ride, but it's still a good ride. So I'd rather see it open than not open, but I don't think it's going to get to that point. If it did, then they'll get a mock extreme spinner too, I guess. I don't know.
I don't think they're going to spend much more money on it if it does.
Yeah, if it has more issues this year, I think that'll be it.
But I think it's going to be okay.
Yeah. I disagree, Colin. Zamperla Giant Discoveries are the best flat rides. I disagree. I'm a bit of a hater of those. I'm not going to lie. And the main reason I don't like them very much is because of the restraints. The restraints totally ruin the ride for me.
They're kind of uncomfy.
They constantly push down on you. They're super tight. It's Zamperla, you made phenomenal restraints with Top Thrill 2 where they lock in place and don't move. If they could do that on every flat ride they've ever made, then their flat rides would be the best. That's the only thing that holds them back for me.
Scream and Swing.
Scream and Swing will forever be Scream and Swing and Drop Towers. They are my favorite flat rides. If Great Adventure got a Scream and Swing, I'd be very happy. We'll say that. I'm very excited for Twisted Twizzler or Twizzler Twisted Gravity. There we go.
There you go. You got it.
I got it. Got some brownie points now. But it looks very, very good. I love how it swings over the lake there. It looked great. The chair is legit. It feels legit, that's for sure. Let's see. Even though my content isn't fully reliant on filming on-ride POVs, I would like to know if there are any parks that I haven't been to which allow on-ride filming besides SeaWorld and Disney. Well, any park in the SeaWorld chain, which includes Busch Gardens and Sesame Place parks, you can. The one park that's a little different is Busch Gardens Williamsburg. You need to stop at guest relations and get a camera card from them. And at least that's how it has been. I don't know if they changed it since then. And you have to flash to the ride operator before you get on so that they know that your mount was checked. Other than that, I don't really know of any that outright allow it. Usually you need to get permission, and you're usually not going to get permission unless you have a sizable audience on social media. I tried to follow Colin's ways of stand-up coastering, but it didn't work. I remember watching you try to follow my ways, and it did not work out for you, Antonio. It doesn't work for everyone, I will say that. Darius makes analogies as funny as theme park crazy. That's certainly an interesting comparison. Unfortunately, Darius was not here to hear this. Let's see. If they would have relocated Green Lantern to another park besides Great Adventure, like maybe Darien Lake or St. Louis, it would have been a better fit. Yes, but relocating a ride like that again, I don't think that would have made sense because it's already close to or at the end of its service life. This is when we were talking about Wind Chaser. Yeah, Sammy, what do you think about Wind Chaser?
Are they repainting it?
I hope they do. I think that'd be awesome.
I was kind of hoping like a blue. I think that'd look really nice.
Blue with like maybe the white supports on the paint on the wood. I think that'd be cool.
Oh yeah.
Or it's not wood. It's steel.
Even like blue with like brown supports could look cool too.
See, but it is technically an all steel coaster because those supports are steel. So painting it brown.
In the concept art, it looked brown though.
Well, that's because
less
it's concept art. Hershen does concept art kind of weird, and it doesn't always match exactly.
Fair enough.
Let's see. Let's see. What's next? Pipeline is the best stand-up. I think I agree. Probably. I think there's a lot more that can be done with that model. That I will say.
Pipeline surprised me. It was
Pipeline's really cool. It's really, really cool.
I need to ride.
If you've never ridden it before and you like to go hands up, I highly recommend you don't, and you hold on with at least one hand, because what happens is, especially for guys, it gets a little uncomfortable when you land. Because obviously, I mean, if you're not jumping on the airtime moments, you're riding that ride wrong. Mm-hmm. But when you land back down from the airtime moments, if you don't like catch yourself, you're gonna get caught down in an area you really don't want to get caught in, and it's not a pleasant feeling. I will just say that. And I had that for my first couple of rides because I was filming like this with my 2 GoPros. And I didn't have anything to like catch myself with. So in the videos, you can see me like lunge forward when I was landing, and it was not a very pleasant feeling. So I learned how to not have that happen. And
I will say riding Pipeline with Ken is a better experience. So if you ever have a chance, ride Pipeline with Ken.
I can only imagine. You think Great Adventure will ever make another coaster like Ka?
I don't think anyone will.
Really, no. I mean, Ka's model, along with Dragster, I mean, they were kind of a product of their time, really. That's how they were. They made sense because they were trying to get a record, and now records don't matter as much, at least not those records. So, do you think King Ka's old air horn could come? No. I mean, if they're just going to buy a new air horn, I don't think they're going to reuse Ka's air horn. Maybe they'll do the same.
I don't even know if they use air horns anymore.
I don't think Devil has one.
I mean, it's a smaller ride, but they have radios.
It's still a brand new coaster.
Ka used to have a horn that blew. Was it a horn?
Ka
every time it would launch.
Every launch.
Yeah. And then they got noise complaints, so they had to turn it off.
Yeah, because everyone moved in next door.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of, I don't know if you guys saw, supposedly, so you know that giant open plot of land on 537 that backs up to the Hurricane Harbor lot, and how that was supposed to be like, hotels and stuff? Well, now it's supposed to be apartments.
Yes,
Interesting.
many apartments.
Yeah, I'm hoping
There's
that
not
doesn't
enough
happen.
of those in Jackson.
And no water park.
No water park. I know the park will not probably be very happy if they get no hotel out of this whole ordeal. So I know they've been waiting on one of those hotels to open because there's no hotels nearby. The closest one is probably the Radisson in Freehold, which is about 15 minutes. So not
There's
ideal.
Hamilton's not too far. That's like 15, 20 minutes the other way.
way, yeah.
But they need something right there.
You should do a poll if you should turn a light on. I don't like having my light on during streams. I like this setup more because if I have my light on, you can barely even see me because I get lost in the background. There's too much.
You should do the poll just to see, though.
I already have a poll running right now. It's about if Falcon's flight is truly 600 feet tall because Darius posed that question, and 58% say yes.
Colin, you should get those college like apartment like rainbow lights and have that like run across like the wall or whatever behind you.
I've never been huge on those personally. I think they look a little they're not for me.
Everyone wants to see your seat. They'll see it in the video.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can see it right here. There you go. I'm not showing the bottom half. You'll see it in the video, presumably tomorrow.
That's the Skyrush seat.
This is the Skyrush seat. There it is.
Are you uncomfortable yet, or have you survived?
I got a decent seating position going right now, and I feel pretty good. It's also because I'm not typing at all. I'm not like hunched over, so I'm just kind of sitting here relaxing. It's pretty comfortable. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see. What do you think is going to be the replacement for Green Lantern? Watch my 5-year plan video. I detailed it all there.
I still have to watch that actually. Maybe after the stream.
I had a lot of fun making that. I always enjoyed like trying to look into the future of the park.
I liked the video when we went back at last year's prediction video. And
oh yeah, so how terribly wrong I was. Granted, nobody could have expected that.
Swing and miss.
To Colin, what are your top 10 jump scares from Hershey Park's Dark Nights? I don't keep track of those. I'm sorry. I don't think I'd be able to make it.
Feels very granular.
I can tell you the top 10 jump scares.
I definitely can't keep track of that.
I know my dad had a really fun one of the years where one of the actors was like, he was a male pretending to be a female and did like a really high-pitched voice. And my dad just started like busting out laughing. And the actor broke character because it was too funny of a situation. That's one I do remember. I can't think of any others though because they're all very good. So, you think parts from King to Ka will be used in the safari? I hope. I think that'd be great. I don't think it'll be salvageable by the time the tower drops, but I always thought the top of the top hat should go right next to Scream Machine in the safari.
Or a piece from Green Lantern.
Yeah,
because they were on the same.
They do still have a piece of the yellow loop untouched, so maybe they'll stick it in the ground for the baboons to climb right next to.
Vinny Viola. Hi, Vinny.
Vinny. Hello, Vinny.
Well, they're now putting it down piece by piece, so it may happen.
It could. It definitely could. Let's see. Does anyone else agree with me that Siren's Curse should have ended up at Kings Island on the former Vortex plot of land? There's a lot of places Siren's Curse could have and maybe should have gone. And if we start that conversation, you'll never get yourself out of it because there's so many places. It could have even gone to Great Adventure, quite frankly, and it would have been a great fit. So, yeah, there's a lot of places it could have gone.
Should have gone where Cyborg is. Damn.
That would have been nice. Or in the arena plot.
Or where Daredevil Dive is.
Or Daredevil. There's a lot of places that could have gone.
All of a sudden, there's a lot of real estate.
All of a sudden.
P-Dog, what is up, Preston? How are you doing? What do you think of the vest restraints on Siren's Curse? Is it necessary? Every new gen Vekoma thrill coaster has vests, so I'm not surprised. The only ones that don't are the STCs, which is their new suspended thrill coaster model. Those are the only ones with lap bars, and I really wish their sit-down standard ones would have those lap bars too. It would make their rides a lot better, but I digress. I don't think the vests are necessary, but they're there. Although, on Siren's Curse, maybe. That thing looks pretty aggressive. I see more questions about when King to Ka is going down. I said at the start of the stream, I'll say it again. I'm not answering those questions because I don't know. Sammy, I just like to smile. Smiling is my favorite, according to Sky Guy R12 Turn.
What's wrong with smiling? Why am I getting judged
Sammy
for
loves to
smiling?
smile. I wonder what they are doing about Kid Flash. That's a good question.
That is a good question.
Because I don't know what's happening with them. They're kind of sitting in purgatory right now. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm surprised they weren't announced to be removed already, honestly. They've had a lot of issues with them. Do I think Hershey is getting a Giga in 2020? No, definitely not. I like Plaza del Carnaval, so I'd leave that area, and I agree with the Golden Kingdom and board. Yeah, Plaza del Carnaval can stay, but transform the boardwalk into an extension of Golden Kingdom. I think that'd be awesome.
What if like Plaza del Carnaval is like the town that's next to the jungle?
That could work. A little outpost in the jungle.
No, not an outpost. Like it's like the town.
Oh, just like a full blown town.
Yeah,
yeah,
like
it's
an
like a-
expedition outpost, if you will.
Okay. Tom, how many nano coasters do you own?
Well, all the Great Adventure ones, including both Medusas. So that's however many. And then I try to like, I'm slowly building up a Hershey collection, but then I have like milestone coasters. Like Twisted Timbers was my first RMC hybrid, so I have that. Millie is my 100th. I have Iron Rattler is my 250. Goliath. I have a decent amount. Definitely a good. It's a good way, or they're a good thing to have that completely like ridiculous membership discount for, because I don't know how anyone could spend full price on those. That's why I wind up having a lot of the Six Flags ones.
Very true. In the November press release, they said they needed to remove King Ka and Lantern for the 26 coaster. Do you think that's hinting more towards a full circuit coaster? I think you're reading into it too much. And look at it this way. If they just used Ka's plot of land and kept going straight down to parachutes, because remember, they also said they're getting rid of parachutes and Twister to make way for it. Technically, if they kept going down a straight shot, they would occupy like Lantern's mid-course area. So technically, it's still replacing Lantern. But I wouldn't read too deep into that, quite honestly. When will Legacy Six Flags Parks get a proper drink or paper drink cup plan? I was hoping that would be this year, but we haven't heard any word on that. So hopefully sooner than later.
2026.
I'm sick and tired of using the sports bottle cups. Those suck.
I will say the retired membership tumblers make a really good way to have your coffee on the go if you're a coffee drinker. So there's one way you can continue to use it. That's how I use mine.
Rank your top 3 indoor coasters.
Ooh, it's a good one.
There's a lot to consider here.
I think I'm gonna say Mummy is number 1. I think that's. I feel like
I go Guardians, Mummy, Space Mountain, maybe.
It's kind of what I'm thinking too.
I missed Space Mountain, so I don't have that one.
Wait,
Tron does not count. It goes outside.
Flight of Fear.
No, that's. Oh, I'm sure.
I see someone saying
Flight of Fear is good, but I do like Space Mountain.
Skull Mountain, man.
Skull Mountain's good.
Yeah, I mean, if it was the way it used to be, maybe.
Runaway
I put
Mountain.
Colin onto Mummy.
How about
Mummy would not
Mummy's
be as high
great.
up in
Mummy's really, really good.
If
Yeah.
I did not put Colin onto it.
I can't confidently state what 2 and 3 are, but Mummy.
Wait, Verbolten is not. Is that an indoor?
Verbolten's
coaster?
not fully
No.
indoor. If
Oh,
you're
okay.
saying
I
indoor
was gonna say-
coasters, they have to be fully indoor. Otherwise, Tron would be in my top 3. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Hello, Colorado animatronics.
Corbin.
Oh, looks like
Maybe.
someone had the exact same ranking as me. Look at that. Are you more upset to see Ka get imploded or the fact that it's taking so long to come down? That's a good question.
I was talking with a friend about this, and we're both in agreement that at this point it's like, okay, just get it over with. Just it sucks, but
kinda
get
how
it over
I'm-
with.
Please get it down already so I don't have to keep thinking about it.
I don't want to wait in the cold anymore.
Yeah, that's very true. Oh, I forgot about the Nickelodeon Universe coasters. I mean, the only one that could even be a contender is Sandy's, which may be better than Space Mountain. So, yeah, I guess Sandy's. But I don't like Shellraiser, so don't even talk about Shellraiser with me. Let's see.
But are those really indoor? I kind of just.
I mean, they're fully covered. They're fully
they
inside.
just happen to be indoor.
They are
True.
indoors.
They could function exactly the same outside, and it would make no difference. Oh, it looks like Tom and Ken, you guys got a trip mate to go down to Dollywood.
Huh.
Have you guys been to Disneyland Paris? No. I would like to, but I have not.
It's on the list. It's on the list.
It is on the list, the very long list. Oh, Sammy. Will Sammy make any more Great Adventure posters?
I don't know. Stay tuned.
I will say
that-
I get a very
Me
good
too.
chuckle out of my guess because I have right near my apartment door the El Toro "Please exit this way" poster. So when you leave my apartment, you are told please exit quickly. So it always gets a
Sponsored
nice
by Sammy.
yeah, it always gets a nice little chuckle from anyone I have over. So thank
I
you.
have a poster idea for you. We'll share afterwards.
That's cool.
Okay, Ken.
Stormrunner should have Ka over the shoulder restraints. I don't think you realize how much that would hurt because every coaster has the intimate over the shoulders that now has soft straps used to have the hard over the shoulder restraints. I would not want to ride Maverick, I-305, Fahrenheit, or Stormrunner with the hard ones.
I can't ride any of those with glasses. It's like I always
You're
get
just
my
going to destroy everything up here with all the snapping. Like the soft straps, they make sure you never can possibly get headbanging. That's what's so good about them. I would never. I guess the argument is that for people who have larger upper bodies, that their shoulders get crushed by the soft straps. From that perspective, I understand it, but I think it's more painful to have the hard ones hitting you in the ears because even on Ka, you would occasionally hit. On Chiro, it's not that big of a deal.
Horrible when it had the hard ones.
What?
Stormrunner was horrible when it had the.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Guarantee
that was not pleasant.
Yeah, I would never want to see those come back.
Same thing with Maverick.
Yeah, Maverick did not look fun. Same with I-305. Here's an interesting one. Candy or Nitro? I got to go with Nitro.
Nitro.
Unanimous.
Enjoy your ride on Nitro.
No, all I can think of is like the little video Nitro.
Will you be a Great Adventure for opening day? I mean, when am I not at Great Adventure for opening day?
Not this year. He can't go.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to go this year. Sorry, guys. I'm skipping it. Thoughts on CoasterCon coming to Six Flags New England, Great Escape, and Lake Compounds next year? I think that's really cool. It's a cool lineup. You don't always see it come up here, so I think that's pretty cool. This is my first live stream with you. Thank you for answering my questions. I really appreciate it. Look forward to the next one. Well, thank you for joining. I had a feeling this was a lot of people's first live stream because I was seeing a lot of new names in the chat. And I also want to thank you all again. I have my monitor over here with the stats. We have stayed over 100 concurrent viewers for the entire duration of the stream, which is nuts. So thank you guys. I really, really do appreciate that. Let's see. Next question. I'd love to see a Scream and Swing at Great Adventure, maybe as a replacement to Twister or Daredevil Live. I wouldn't say any of these rides should just directly replace anything, because they're going to completely reshape the area. So saying it's going to directly replace this ride or that ride, that plot may not even be in play. You know what I mean? So we got to wait and see before we figure that out.
I would love a Bobcat-style wooden coaster where Daredevil Dive was. I feel like that would be a really.
I think you need more space than that.
You would.
Ah, you would.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they invented the custom layout.
I do think, however, though, if you were to get rid of the ride stuff building, that'd be a great spot for a dive coaster.
No dive coaster.
I know no dive coaster, but it'd be a great spot.
Expedition Equinox is the best backyard coaster. I believe the best backyard coaster is Black Stallion backwards.
Backwards is nuts.
That was my fave. Well, Black Stallion opening year was another breed, but Black Stallion
that was greased up to infinity.
Yeah. Sammy, what's behind the King to Ka? Well, I guess he's asking about the King to Ka banner.
Behind it's the wall.
Or is it like Shawshank?
It's like a
you're
secret
tunneling your way
passageway.
out?
Bring him directly to Guardians, so he doesn't have to take the bus.
Yeah. Just like you.
Why am I not surprised? Why, like,
Is
when
that
I tell you guys he's the biggest Guardians fanboy, it does not get worse than this. Let's see. I'm trying to grow my channel. I would like to know, based on the parks you have visited, do they require? It's different for every park. I mean, the best advice I can give is don't try to grow just seeking invites to media days and stuff. Grow because you enjoy it and because you found something you like to do and that other people like to watch you do, and it'll go from there. But if you start out by specifically seeking out just going to media days, you're not going to wind up getting there. So just enjoy yourself, find your niche, have fun with it. That's the best bit of advice I could give. Let's see. We are almost at the end of the question. We're getting very close. How do you think Great Adventure will fix Flash's horrible capacity? I don't think it's going to be as bad as you think it is, honestly. I think they're going to be able to push the trains pretty quick. It's going to have better capacity than like Joker, so it will not be the
That
worst
is not true. That is not true.
It doesn't work there anymore, so.
Okay, Joker sometimes had really good capacity. When I was there, it had really
Flash can seat 24 riders per train. Its cycle time is not that long. It'll be fine. I mean, there are boomerangs that exist at big parks. I mean, Jolly Rancher, Hershey, that's always fine. So I don't think we're going to have any issues. At least not that bad. It will be popular. It's a brand new ride, of course, but I think it'll be okay. And remember, this ride was never meant for Great Adventure anyway, so the fact that we even got it should be like, oh, we got a new ride. Cool. Let's see. Oh, I forgot about Dark Coaster. I don't think it would be in my top 3, but it is a good ride. I kind of forgot that exists. Let's see. What are your thoughts for Six Flags America with the new Intamin shipment? Maybe new trains for Ride of Steel or something? I think that'd be pretty cool. I don't know. Colin, you haven't rode an original hang. I have ridden many hang and bangs. I've ridden the SLCs with the terrible restraints. I've ridden the boomerangs with the terrible restraints. I've ridden the worst aero coasters you can think of. Believe me, I have had my fair share of getting my head banged around, and I can assure you that it would probably not be pleasant to feel that on an Intamin that has whippy transitions.
Mm-hmm.
Colin is my number one source for Great Adventure news. He's always a great adventure. Oh, that's my goal. I try to be as on top of it as I can. It's not always easy, but. Did you lose the friction option on the water slides in Planet Coaster 2? I have not touched the water slides in Planet Coaster 2. I'm boycotting them until they make the physics realistic with them, so I couldn't tell you. I am able to adjust friction individually on coasters. I actually just built a new gen Vekoma tilt coaster in Planet Coaster 2. I'm not going to tell you guys how I did it. The video should come out eventually, but you can't actually do that yet. There was a bit of an exploit that was found. It is on the workshop if you're able to find it, and you can build a new gen Vekoma.
It's really an exploit. It's really an exploit. Just someone helped everyone out.
Well, somebody modded or something, put it in a blueprint and put it on workshop, but didn't really announce it. You kind of just have to know that it exists. But anyways, yeah, we are at the bottom of the chat. Wow. Let me see if there's any last second questions in here. If you guys have any last second questions, send them now, and we'll go from there. But I'm going to say by 10:30.
Has this ever happened?
No, this has never happened before.
Wow.
We just kind of blitzed through it. I mean, we didn't like linger too long on anything. At 10:39, I will stop accepting new questions from the chat. Also going to use this time, because we are basically towards the end of the stream now, to plug the merch. There's a free shipping sale going on right now for another 3 days. Yes, Sammy definitely has it on.
Yeah, Sammy's definitely wearing it.
If you go to the pinned comment in the chat, you're going to see the link to the merch there. There's more than just Long Live the King. There are some posters as well, Hollywood merch. So if you do want to get one in time for opening day and you want to get a nice sale out of it too, There you go. They are.
So don't get the purple Collywood shirt because that's mine, and I would.
Yeah, Tom
hate,
has that one trademarked.
I would hate to have to make somebody change after they got into the park.
Exactly. I will say, I think the most popular color in terms of hoodies has been that bright blue. That one's that's the one I have.
That is a good one.
The stats of like which colors are showing the most. That one is very, very popular. So
we got to show some love to the orange, though.
orange is good.
I haven't seen it. I think I saw someone wearing the orange at the park. I got mine. I got all my Long Live the King stuff after the park closed, but you will definitely see me wear this at the park a ton because the orange goes hard.
All right, there's a few questions. I'm gonna put the line in the chat right now for no more questions. So hopefully you sent them all. No more questions. All right, there we go. That's the end of that. And now it is time to look at what you guys sent. Do you like Storybook Land? I've been a big fan ever since the release of their 2000 coaster bundle. Before that, I really didn't understand any of their work. Okay, I don't understand the second one.
Is that like an American Psycho reference?
It kind of does seem like one. Tom would know. I'm sure Tom.
No, I'm pretty sure. No, yeah, that's basically like when he was going on about like Genesis. Whoever did that.
Yeah, great
Nicely
job.
done. Nicely
I've
done.
been to Storybook Land. I like Storybook Land a lot. It's a very nice park for kids. Not necessarily for adults, but definitely for kids.
I wouldn't describe it as intellectual, though. No.
Yeah, intellectual's
I think they were just quoting a movie.
How can you post a video while live? I don't think I did. I mean, you can just schedule videos and then post whenever you want them to post, but I don't think anything released while I was live. Let's see. Is Ka coming down piece by piece? No.
One piece.
It is getting.
Wait, I thought the police said that it was going down piece by piece.
It's coming down piece by piece.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Don't think I believe that. How many rides did you get on Con its last day? I will tell you in a minute because I don't remember.
Wait, yeah, I can.
What I can tell you though is that I got more on as the weekend went on, I got less and less each day.
Yeah, some of us had to work on Thursday and couldn't get 72, however many, like 70 some odd rides.
I did a lot. I know that. Let me find it because I'll be like really upset if I can't find it now. So
here, I'm gonna find my. I rode Cost 16 times on its last day and Lantern once.
Okay, here we go. On the 8th, I rode King to Ka 64 times. On the 9th, I rode it 27 times. And on the 10th, I rode it. Oh, where's the trip report? There we go. Oh, wait. No, did I not post a trip report? Oh, there it is. I rode it 17 times. So add that all up and you get the answer for the final weekend count. And then the week before that, I rode it a bunch too. So I got a lot of rides. Love the new merch. Thank you. I'm still very happy with how this came out. And it's really cool seeing this because even at like the different events I've been to in the off season and at Great Adventure during Holiday in the Park, I saw these all over the place, which is really, it's kind of cool to see something that you sat in Photoshop and designed and then see it out in the wild. It's a really cool feeling.
Hey, I was wearing mine out and about in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, and somebody was like, "Oh, that's that roller coaster that was taken out." I'm like, "Yes."
I'm thinking about doing 3D prints of coasters. Would like to make copies. Actually, that does remind me, if I can find it over here. There we go. I have a failed 3D print of the Fury 325 sign. Failed because it was just didn't print right, but I tried. That was when I was still in high school. But yeah, there's that. Let's see. Best bathroom location at Great Adventure. That would have to be Metropolis Water and Power.
Except the Koala Canyon bathrooms pre-Jersey Devil were always pretty quiet.
Oh, those were, yeah. Nobody went back there. Have you ever gotten hit by food on the rides?
Food? No.
I was there the day after people got hit by hot sauce packets on Steel Vengeance in 2018, but I wasn't there when it happened. No, it was the same day. I was the same day. I just happened to get there.
TJ Kenny Nitro.
Is Wonder Woman with somebody throwing up count as food?
Huh?
Wonder Woman.
Oh.
Puked.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember the TJ Kenny Nitro hot sauce incident?
I do. That was something. Thoughts on the Over Texas Giga Dive? We talked about it a little bit earlier, I don't like dives, so I don't want to talk about it because I'll just sound very negative. But I think it's a great fit for their park, for sure. What's the best flat ride you've ever ridden?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Falcon's Fury is up there. Zumanjaro is up there. Any Scream and Swing is up there.
You know,
The Fun Spot Kissimmee Sky Coaster is up there.
Forbidden Journey. That's a.
I mean, I kind of group that
That's it.
separately. The dark rides are like their own thing.
I guess so.
Unpopular opinion, I kind of like Spider-Man more than Forbidden Journey.
What?
Kind of.
No,
I
can
but-
agree.
I just think Forbidden Journey's showing its age a lot more than Spider-Man does.
The animation is a little interesting at times, but
Yeah. Adirondack Outlaw. How could I forget about
I was
that? And
just going to say that.
and
Adirondack Outlaw.
Skyscraper, Casino Pier. Those two are freaking amazing.
I
What
will.
was Squadron 33?
Squadron 33. Yeah.
That was a good one. That's always a good one.
Not Gersauer Skyflyer or Skyroller, whatever.
Wait,
That's
Steeplechase at or the is that what it was called at where were we at Rye Playland? Yeah,
Oh,
that one was
yeah,
fun.
That's like Cedar Downs at Cedar Point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Squadron 33 got removed, Sammy.
It did.
I know. I heard. That was upsetting. Better replaced by something good.
You would think. Oh, here's a question for Sammy. Are they changing anything about the queue for Guardians now that they're switching to standby?
I will not be answering this question. I will let you guys find out, like everybody else, on Tuesday the 25th.
I would assume
at 8:30 a.m.
I don't know that much is really gonna change. I mean, it's a pretty big queue as it is. It's not as big as you would think it would
It's
be.
not big at all.
So there's probably gonna be some kind of an extended queue in the back if I had to guess. But let's see. Next up, do you think any of the coasters will get a repaint outside of Nitro?
Mine Train
Could
use
use
one.
it. Yeah. Otherwise, well, now that they got rid of Green Lantern and Ka, those would have been my next picks. But honestly, Medusa. Medusa could use a little bit of a touch up, maybe. I don't think anything else really is in dire need. And the final.
You sure you're painting the car? Oh wait.
Oh, okay. Here, yeah, I'll end off on this right here. This is a pretty cool one. At the Great Nor'easter, so this is presumably the event they had at Six Flags New England a couple days ago, or maybe was it yesterday? I don't even know. The ACE event, like the off-season ACE event. The president of Six Flags New England said that he loved your shirts because everyone there was wearing one. Well, that is very, very cool to hear.
Oh,
and
that's cheap, Colin.
shout
That's
out
not
to
a
Pete
question.
Carmichael. He's a great guy. He does a great job running Six Flags New England up there. But with that, we have made it to the end of the questions. And I want to thank you all again for making this a very successful stream. Cannot share my appreciation for it enough. And thank you guys for being here, Darius as well, even though you had to leave a little early. And let you guys run through and from last time. We'll start with Tom.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram at TomStrikes99. I might post some stuff sometimes.
Built a thrill. So glad Colin had the budget to put me on the stream today.
And Ken.
Uncle Ken. Glad to be here.
Ken. There you go.
It's
Don't
like
follow
Uncle
me
Magic,
either.
but Kenny.
Oh, super chat. Super chat.
Last
one
minute.
last super
Buzzer
chat.
beater.
Buzzer beater. Great job, Quinn. Thank you for the super chat. What's your take on parking at Great Adventure? Well, my car got hit in the parking lot, so there's that. But it's
I've had a hubcap stolen off my car. I think that was in 2016.
I think it's set up very well now because they made good changes in 2024. I'll give them that. There's still more that can be done. I think the lane should be wider, but overall, I think it's well done. That I will say. Thank you again for the buzzer beater super chat there. I do want to just give you guys, if you're still lingering around a little bit, I want to give you guys a little bit of an idea of what kind of videos you can expect. Obviously, Ka is going to get imploded soon, so there's going to be that. We have the Skyrush seat build video coming out likely tomorrow. We have most anticipated new Six Flags coasters for 2025. That's coming out soon. A video talking about
there's a
the
Sammy Planet
future.
Coaster video coming.
There is new Planet Coaster videos coming. There's a Vekoma Tilt Coaster. There's a Vekoma Family Launch Coaster. There's a Dragon Intamin Multi-Dimension Coaster that Sammy, I know, is very excited about. There's an Intamin Wing Hyper Coaster. There's my video ranking every defunct coaster I've done. A video talking about the future of Great Adventure. There's a lot on its way, and a couple what if videos. So stay tuned for all of that. It's going to be a pretty exciting lead up to the season really getting started. March is going to be quite the month. I'll leave it at that. You guys will see what that means as we get there. But with all that being said, that's going to do it for tonight's stream. Thanks again so much for you guys joining us for the stream. It was definitely a bit of a long one. We're almost at 3 hours, but thanks again. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye, guys.